be heard, and the press rigorously investigate claims they make. I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters. And in this case, the truth is the claims are false.
Case closed. Good work, everyone.
Who's your
Howie Carr?
The facts in this case do not exist. They never happened. And there's so many inconsistencies in what has been said in this case.
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator, and the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Unchained and unstoppable.
As we
Look, this is a very. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Please. No, that's all.
I've got two more
Nor has
questions. The first.
Okay, please.
Go ahead. The first is about your university.
Over 600,000 dead. That fictitious person you described. All the PPP. The president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the country, the world.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
No, I will not be wearing a mask. And if I'm stopped, I'm going to just tell the police I'm an illegal alien. You have no right to stop me, gringo. I'm on my way to the welfare office, and I have some fentanyl in my pocket, and you don't have any right to search me, amigo. Who the hell is Charlie Baker to tell anybody they got to wear a mask? And by the way, if it's so damn significant, why did he wait until now? Why did he wait until now? And why does it not go into effect until Wednesday? Today's Friday. So has he negotiated a deal with the coronavirus cooties so they don't come out and grab anybody until everybody has to be required to wear a mask? This is Paul Duvall, Charlie Parker, the governor. His mismanagement of the Holyoke Soldiers Home has killed at least 70 people. His mismanagement of the registry of motor vehicles has killed at least 7 people. God only knows how many people were killed with DCF, children and families. He is a much greater threat to public health and safety. His mismanagement, his incompetence, the corruption of his administration is a much greater threat than any non-mask wearing member of the population. And again, let us recall that this is a nursing home crisis. I'm sorry people are dying in nursing homes. The average fatality in this panic is over the age of 80. I think it's 83. Some states it's even higher than that. So this is just more virtue signaling. He's just monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see in this case is Andrew Cuomo, and Charlie Parker is monkey do. Monkey see, monkey do. Whatever. When Cuomo says jump, Charlie Baker says how high. This is pathetic. Pathetic. I am glad I'm down in Florida. I think I'll stay down here until this idiocy is over. I may have to actually vote in 2022 in Massachusetts. Vote against him in the Republican primary to get rid of him. I'll wear a mask to the polls that day. That'll be my way of saying, this is what I think of you, Charlie Parker. There was a website today said all the Democrat governors in the Northeast, and it listed all the states, and it listed Massachusetts as one of them. And I said, boy, they got that right. And then they changed it. I tweeted it out, and I guess they changed it. It's the Rhino governor of Massachusetts. But he's really a Democrat. He doesn't even reach the level of Rhino. But anyway, 844-500-4242. Baker is just getting around to it now. If it was so important, Charlie Parker, why didn't you do it weeks ago? Weeks ago. And if it's so important, why are you waiting until Wednesday? And he says, oh, I know this is a terrible terrible thing. There's 900,000 people have lost their jobs over this, and he hasn't done squat. He hasn't laid off a single state worker. All these hacks that are on vacation. They're on. This isn't an emergency. It's a vacation for all the hacks at the courthouses, UMass, Massport. I get the register. I could go on and on, but I just named those three because they're the ones that are most obnoxious. Anyway, 844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to join us here this afternoon, every weekday afternoon. This is going to be a very interesting weekend for Sleepy Joe Biden. He had his choice. All the fluffers, as Chris Plant calls them, all the Democrat fluffers on the networks. All the networks are full of them, and they all want to help Joe. You know, they want to help the party. You know, this is they all want to. They all want to, you know, be in the amen chorus. And now it turns out ABC News interviewed Tara Reid, whom he allegedly raped back in 1993. They interviewed her 5 weeks ago, and they've been sitting on this. This is the same network that set on an expose of Jeffrey Epstein a number of years ago. This is the same network that more than 30 years ago killed an expose on the Kennedy's involvement in the death of Marilyn Monroe back in 1962. So this is a network, one of many, all networks except for Fox, that are fluffers. They're fluffers for the Democrat Party. So he decided to pick the most pathetic group of all, which is MSNBC, and I don't know if it's the most pathetic show on MSNBC, but it's right up there. Morning Joe, MOURNING, Morning Joe, and Mika Brzezinski, a flotation device, again, as Chris Plant describes her, which is a pretty funny description of her. And she's a second generation Democrat Party factotum. And so she interviewed Sleepy Joe about these allegations of rape. And what he did was he refused to allow he said, she asked him, will you open up your archives at the University of Delaware? You know, your Senate documents, will you open them up? Because that's where she claims she filed her complaint of his rape, his alleged rape of her back in 1993. And he said, oh, no. I'm absolutely certain there's nothing there. How can he be absolutely certain? He doesn't speak very precisely. Even at his best day, he didn't speak very precisely. So he said, you should go to the National Archives. And the National Archives said, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. But I have a suggestion. Why don't they open up the records of all the settlements that they've made of staffers and others on Capitol Hill who have accused members of Congress, both senators and House members, of sexually harassing them or molesting them, or in the case of Biden's accusation, raping them. Why don't we just open them up? Don't have to get the names of the victims. They never release the names of the victims. But let's have which senators and congressmen were accused credibly, so that the government had to settle up with their victims. You know, I mean, we paid the settlement, you and me, the taxpayers. So let's see it. 844-500-4242.
Howie, it's funny because throughout all of the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and when the Democrats were demanding Trump's tax returns, they were just setting their bar so high for whoever they chose because they were so demanding and they wanted perfection from Trump. And they couldn't have picked a more flawed person to execute this than Joe Biden. He is the hypocrisy that they are putting on display now by picking him is astounding.
Yeah, I say all we need is the same standard for Joe Biden that we had for Brett Kavanaugh, which is guilty until proven innocent. Right.
Right. And Howie,
that's all. That's easy enough.
I know I know we played this cut, Howie, a couple of weeks ago where she said, oh, I can't throw away a decent man, talking about Joe Biden. I've known him for 15 years. I wouldn't feel right throwing away a decent man. How do you think Brett Kavanaugh's wife and mother and daughters felt watching all of these people ruin his reputation and drag him through the court of public opinion? And now they're all of a sudden so worried about Joe Biden and his family's feelings. He's running for president. That's a job interview, is it not?
Yes. I mean, we've got that whole supercut of Joe Biden on sexual assault, but we should probably go with the stuff that's new today. Let's just have, and he keeps mentioning the University of Delaware over and over again, how there's nothing there. The old line comes to mind, methinks he doth protest too much. Play cut 18.
The University of Delaware has no personnel files, but it does have a lot of confidential conversations that I had with the president about a particular issue, that I had with the heads of state of other places, that would not be something that would be revealed while I was in public office or while I was seeking public office. It just stands to reason, to the best of my knowledge, no one else has done that either.
We got so much stuff to get to here today. 844-500-4242. There are demonstrations going on everywhere. We're going to have the owner of the brew pub up in Oxford County, Maine, who was on Tucker last night and gave out Governor Mills' private cell phone number, which has been disconnected, oddly enough. I wonder why.
207. Unavailable at this time. Goodbye.
That was then. I just called it a few minutes ago. Now it's been permanently disconnected. Call it up again and get the new version. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Online at coldspringsrv.com. Inventory that was purchased for the RV show that was canceled is now bursting at the seams, so now's the time to score a great deal. Visit coldspringsrv.com for RV specials, as well as information on hours and operations. Safety is Cold Springs RV's top priority, so please visit the website to learn more. Cold Springs RV, Route 114, Ware, New Hampshire. coldspringsrv.com.
Here's Donald Trump Jr. proving once and for all the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
They hate Trump more than they love America. For them to try to take a pandemic and seemingly hope that it comes here and kills millions of people so that they could end Donald Trump's streak of winning. I don't know if this is coronavirus or Trump derangement syndrome, but these people are infected badly. To make this guy into a religious scholar, that's like saying Jeffrey Dahmer is a purveyor of organic and fine exotic meats. Adam Schiff is basically the Jussie Smollett of Congress on steroids. Children are off limits. Remember this one? If 13-year-old Barron Trump is not off limits, Hunter Biden sure as is not off limits. Because my name is Trump, if I took $1.5 from China, not $1.5 billion like Hunter, their heads would explode.
Who's your favorite Democrat? Go ahead.
Mitt Romney, Gail. Mitt Romney's my favorite Democrat. How about that? Please, Lord, in my next life, make me a leftist so I can say anything and get away with it.
Here's how it works with my retirement. and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
We went to the White House for the Christmas party. In your opinion, what was the highlight?
The highlight of my trip to the White House with Grace, there were two. Number one, when we walked into Trump International Hotel, which she'd been dreaming of going to, and her eyes were wide. And then when the president actually came down the stairs, her eyes were even wider. She was so in awe of being there. I really felt like King Farouk, I felt like I was giving someone a really great gift that they couldn't get otherwise.
You've had some really good interviews over the years. Which one was your favorite?
I can't really say what the best interview I ever had, but one that just occurred to me was Jesse Helms, the senator from North Carolina. I interviewed him one time, and he went to high school with my mother in Monroe, North Carolina. And the first words out of his mouth were, "Howie, I know your mother before you knew your mother."
Hi, my name is Jane Lucas, and I am from the town of South China, Maine.
This is Al from Merrimack, New Hampshire.
Hi, I'm Angela from Brewster on the Cape, and this is the one and the only Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by the Howie Carr Show Mother's Day Special. Get a free copy of one of my books with every order of our Buy American, Support America t-shirts in navy blue. Plus, get free shipping on orders of $49.99 or more. Visit HowieCarrShow.com and click on store to order. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will you wear a mask in public per Charlie Baker's order?
No, I will not.
65% say they won't either.
Yeah. Again, and if you get jammed up, just tell the cops you're an illegal alien. And then say you're going to call the Alien Civil Liberties Union. It used to be the American Civil Liberties Union. Now they only represent aliens and Democrats. 844-500-4242. So we're going to talk to Rick Savage from the Sunday River Brewing Company. He's defying Janet Mills' order. She's if Baker and Cuomo are the Bobbsey twins of the 10-pot dictators in the Northeast. She's the third one. She's Goldilocks of the 10-pot dictator governors. So she's keeping the state shut down, even though there's only 53 fatalities so far from the panic. And they came out today. 380 people last year died of drug overdoses in Maine, but that's not a problem. But 53 people, mostly in nursing homes, die in Maine. She has to shut down the entire state. So this guy, Rick Savage, said, "Hey, I'm opening up today at 4:00. So there's a huge line. It's in Newry, Maine, a tiny little place in Oxford County. But he's opening up today. There's all kinds of people there. One of the people there is Kevin. He's a fan of the Howie Carr Show. He actually came in and saw us down here at me and Grace in Boca when Grace was down here with me. Kevin, what's going on up there at the Sunday River Brewery?
Howie, there's about 75 to 100 people in line right now waiting to get in the drizzling rain. No one's wearing a mask, not one person. And not one. You probably hear all the honking in the background. There's truckers honking in support, cars. Everybody's out here having a good time. Rick's brother Ron is driving around in his pickup truck, making sure everybody's 6 feet apart so it can work. But so far so good. And this has been going on since noon. This line.
Really?
They actually opened up early, Howie. They opened up at noon. All the locals got the word of mouth, but the Facebook says 4, but they've been open since noon.
Is the local constabulary here? Has Governor Mills sent down any stormtroopers from Augusta?
Not yet. It's expected, though. I heard Rick giving an interview, and he said, "Yeah, I expected her to try to arrest me, but let her try." He's awesome. And I sent Grace a couple of pictures earlier, from around 11:30, and two sheriffs drove by while the parking lot was full, and they didn't even stop. I think one of them actually might have honked himself.
I don't think any of the sheriffs up north of Cumberland County, which is Portland, I don't think they want to enforce any of these preposterous edicts that the Mussolini of Maine is putting out from the Blaine House. It's ridiculous.
It is. It really is, and I'm so happy that Governor LePage is going to announce his candidacy for 2022. Maybe he can step it up a little bit.
Yeah. So what are you going to order when you get in there, Kevin? Kevin, what are you going to order when you get in there?
I am going to have a medium rare double bacon cheeseburger.
Ooh, sounds
side of fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll have I'll choose from the desserts, but probably a nice wild blueberry pie, maybe an adult beverage or two.
Yeah, I was just looking at their menu. They got all kinds of, it's a brewery, so they, a craft brewery, so they got all kinds of nice porters and IPAs, all that kind of stuff. Good stouts.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they do. And actually, a little side note: they have homemade donuts here that they sell in the mornings that are a local favorite. You'd love that, Howard.
Man, I could go for a homemade donut. I like Florida, but it's not a real donut. It's not a real donut magnet, if you know what I mean. They don't have a lot of good donut places down here. Yeah. What do you do?
Exactly what you mean. What I'll do is I'll send them down. I'll have Rick send down some donuts to the Newsmax office in Boca. How's that?
I don't think they'd travel too well. Just send Grace a picture of the donuts if you can get one. All right. We'll be right back. We're going to have Brian Kilmeade with us next. I'm Howie Carr.
Boomer Naturals is providing 20% off their face masks for Mother's Day. Boomer Naturals face masks are comfortable, made of 3 layers of cotton and polyester, and have special antibacterial fabrics certified to block 92.2% of particles. The best part is they last 30 days. Simply wash them when you go home at night, and they're good to use again the next day. Adult and child sizes are available. Go to HowieCarrShow.com and click on the Boomer Naturals banner. Use promo code HowieCarr20 at checkout to save 20%.
At Subaru of New England, we believe in vehicles that families can trust. And since your safety is our top priority, our retailers are making it easy for you to shop online right from your home. Just go to SubaruofNewEngland.com, enter your zip code to locate your Subaru retailer, and contact to confirm participation. It takes love and community to make a difference, and our New England Subaru retailers are committed to being a resource for our neighbors. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Joe Biden might be running for president in 2020, so we should play some of his greatest hits.
Barack and I finally reduced the disparity in sentencing, which we've been fighting to eliminate, in crack cocaine versus powder cocaine. It was a big mistake when it was made. We thought we were told by the experts that crack, you never go back.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
If you want to protect yourself, get a double-barrel shotgun. If there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony, put that double-barrel shotgun, and fire 2 blasts.
They're going to put you all back in chains. Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
The 3-letter word. Jobs. J-O-B-S. Jobs.
One man stands ready to deliver change we desperately need. A man I'm proud to call my friend. A man who will be the next president of the United States, Barack America.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever, is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving. Here's 1 minute of former Vice President Joe Biden.
You teachers who touch them, figuratively speaking, well, I hope you touch them and tell them how much you love them too. But my point is, when you touch their hearts, I get in trouble some of the things I say, but I want to tell you, just be straight up. If I'm your president, with me, it starts here in my gut, goes to my heart, and then I articulate it. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
This is the Howie Carr Show, live from Chappaquiddick at the Party House. 25 years after Chappaquiddick 1969 on WHDH, News Talk 850.
Another bad song from 1969. 742-0850. We're going to take some calls this segment if you want to get on board. If you have any questions for John Farrar, the scuba diver who saw Mary Jo Kopechne's body underwater. The number again, 742-0850. We're going to start talking about the incident and everyone's perceptions. John, let me just get this straight. So now, as far as your belief is that while Ted Kennedy was walking past all these houses back towards the Party House where we're broadcasting from now, Mary Jo was still alive.
That is correct.
And she would have been alive probably for about an hour, you think?
I think that's most reasonable, and if an hour, if not longer, that's correct.
No.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. Will a Lone Ranger mask suffice? Asks one of the texters. And how about if you just tell the cops if they stop you, officer, move along. My name is A.J. Gropey Baker. As you know, I can get away with groping women on flights into the city. So you think I'm going to have to wear a mask? Or you just say, I self-identify as a person wearing a mask. 844-500-4242. Joining us on the line now is Brian Kilmeade, the host of Fox and Friends in the morning. He has his own radio show. Brian, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Always, Howie. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. How is it? You guys aren't together anymore on the curvy couch. What's it like now doing the?
No, they fanned everybody out. So very few people in the studio. So it's a lot harder. I think the show suffers, to be honest, because you can't have almost any spontaneity because there's different delays in each studio. You know what that's like,
right?
Even if a caller is delayed or on our speakerphone. So there's different delays. You really can't be spontaneous. And let's say you have a quick follow-up question. Can't really do it. It just throws everybody off. So it's hopefully it'll end soon. But with this governor, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, our governor in Massachusetts seems to be an echo of your governor, Cuomo. And so today he just announced after Cuomo said masks are mandatory, our governor said masks are mandatory.
In uncontrolled social distances situations, but you're not wearing one at home, obviously. If you're going to run, you're not wearing it. So, I mean, there's practical situations. What the governor in California did is absolutely obscene. I was going to one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're having more technical difficulties now, and we're not even socially distanced in the studios. I don't know if did we lose Brian, or is he?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, we're just having a problem
Still here.
We're having a little problem with your the reception for a second. Yeah, I mean, who do you think is the most obnoxious? I mean, who is the most overreaching governor in your opinion, Brian?
Well, I tell you, the governor of Michigan, I find absolutely out of control, a power maniac. I actually feel Governor DeWine's been overdoing it. We get the impression he's loosening things up, but people in Ohio calling my show saying it is not. It's just the opposite. Right. He keeps pushing things back and keeps pushing things back. So, I mean, the people don't understand. It's not about being careful and conscientious. There's a huge downside to waiting too long.
Right.
It's like lazy. Go in there. Tell me what my restaurant needs to be done. Tell me how to open up my sports store.
Yeah. You know who's really, not getting enough grief, I don't think, on a national level for what he's doing is Pritzker, J.B. Pritzker in Illinois. He's a big fat guy. In Chicago, they call him J.B. the Hutt, as in Jabba the Hutt. And he's a billionaire. He inherited billions of dollars, and he just continued shutting the state down for another 4 weeks. I mean, he doesn't understand, Brian, I don't think, what it's like if you don't have $1 billion in the bank. He doesn't understand people are broke.
It is unbelievable how crack it is, and they're just waiting as the mass media for you to say, if you want people to go open up their homes, you don't care that 60,000 people lost their lives. That has nothing to do with it. How many people have lost their lives and their livelihoods? How many people are comfortable with our country acting like Japan's economy over the next 20 years, where we constantly lose momentum, lose people, lose products, lose manufacturing? I mean, this is the moment that will define the next 10, 15 years. And I just don't understand why these governors, I understand you have big responsibility, but I back Brian Kemp. I back the governor in Colorado. I mean, take some risks. Understand these mayors know. For example, I haven't been all through Illinois, but there are so many rural areas that aren't affected. I've been through a lot of California. You'd think you're in Iowa and places in California. They can't believe they're being lumped in with Los Angeles. And to me, it is laziness and a power thing where you could say my state is still doing X, Y, and Z. No, it's not. New York City is bad. New York State is not bad. Nassau and Suffolk on Long Island are up to 12 days of decreasing numbers. What is he going to do at day 14, 15? Is he going to continue to say, well, New York City's still bad? I mean, come on, get out of your state house, walk around, find out how to handle these areas, talk to people. And how dare you, as mayor of New York City, say, I know it's a nice day, go out for a little while, but go right home. Are you kidding me? What difference does it make if I'm walking through the woods or sitting in my living room?
I mean, how ridiculous is it that de Blasio, you ride the subways, or you used to anyway.
I did, yeah.
I mean, how ridiculous is it for him to say you can still ride the subways and basically be underground, sealed up, but yet you can't walk around in Central Park? That makes no sense.
It's idiocy. And that's where he put the homeless. That's where the homeless is. Yeah. I mean, basically, they're like, they're all using the benches as beds. And now they say, okay, we're going to stop that from 2 to 4. We're going to clean the cars. I mean, we're not idiots. We're not children. Stop talking to us like this. I know it's everybody's first pandemic, but it's been 6-7 weeks. We get it. We understand the risk. We have underlying conditions, how to look out. Maybe we're people that are going to need some extra time. Maybe we're going to need people to help out other people that are susceptible. They do are older, and we're more than happy to do that. We've already proven that. But I'm also willing to go out and earn a living to make sure our country is still there for them. I mean, what do you see when you see these lines in Texas and in Ohio and upstate New York for people in the Bronx, people lined up just to get groceries, many of which saying this is the first time I've ever taken anything in my life. So 30 million unemployed, and people are hungry. There's a downside to waiting. Get off your butt, start walking through restaurants, get our screw guns out. We'll all help out and make a place in which we're going to go, we're going to eat, because the trucks need to drop off the food. The farmers need a place to sell food, close down, so they have nowhere to sell the food, so they're burying it. Meanwhile, our friends need food.
You know what's driving me crazy too, and driving a lot of people crazy, is that a lot of these states, they're refusing to see that it's different conditions in different parts, like Maine, for instance, where I have we're big in Maine, and I was born there. And the governor refuses to accept the fact that if you go north of Portland, there's very few cases, and she won't open it up. And the same with you talk about California. There's that little county on the northeastern corner of California. They just said it's over. They're basically seceding from Governor Newsom's Reich. I just thought of something. You write history books sometimes. I mean, in a minor way, this is kind of like what happened in Virginia when the Civil War started, right? And West Virginia, the coal mining areas, it was part of Virginia, and they said, we got no stake in this. Why are we going to get killed? We don't have any slaves. We don't care. They seceded from Virginia, right? So a lot of these counties are beginning to secede from the Democrat-run oligarchies that are being set up here.
We're going to have a chance to vote in November. And if you have a governor shutting down a state, which I believe you've had lost 30 people in Maine, 33, I think. How the hell do you destroy over 1 million people's lives? Tell them they can't go, they can't go to the games. They can't graduate because of 33 people. That's not the way the country works. It matters. I get it. I'm not passing that aside, but you have to think about the bigger picture. Who are you hurting? You're hurting everybody else. And that's not a really legacy.
Yeah. I just mentioned it earlier, Brian, that the state of Maine today released these statistics on drug overdoses last year in the state of Maine. 380 drug overdoses. So far, 53. It's up to 53 now. Dead. One person died in the state of Maine on Wednesday from coronavirus. And again, everything is shut down. Everything. And she's it's just it's so frustrating.
I mean, look, you definitely understand, and it's mostly Republicans getting the shot. And they got to answer to people. There's protests in Washington, 16 of Pennsylvania today. Opening up. There was protests in Virginia today. Protests in Michigan today. There were protests in the State House in New York City at the mayor's office, as well as in Albany.
In Boston,
so people have had it. They go in Boston too, and people go, "Well, look at what Trump's doing." Trump's not doing that. These are people.
Right. I know. And then they're saying, well, it's up to Trump. It's up to Trump. Well, then when they declare a sanctuary city and Trump says, I'm going to do something about the sanctuary cities, they say, how dare you? It's our call.
I know.
Right. So which is it?
Yeah. You can't have it both ways. Look, you talk to these doctors, there's an excellent chance that helping us is going to be the summer. And the virus really does not flourish in the summer. So that's going to help us too. We're going to watch the numbers go down. And I think that we have to hold these governors accountable. I don't think we can wait until November. I worry, and it's cynical, and I hope I'm wrong. I just hope they're not saying, let's destroy President Trump so there's a President Biden. And the way to do that is to say he screwed up how it started, and he couldn't get us back on his feet. Because they were about to get crushed until this pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And they know it.
Yeah. Well, Bernie was ahead for a while. They were going to lose 48, 50 states with Bernie. And now it looks like Joe Biden may be on the ropes, So what happens then? I still don't think they have a very good plan B, do they?
Well, I guess it would be Cuomo, and he's got to really implode. And my thing is, Biden is really, this is the best thing that ever happened to him, because the more he campaigns, the worse he does. And he's had a chance to sit in his garage and do these interviews, and no one's really watching him, being unable to answer questions, walk away from the camera, lose his place. We're not seeing the ineptness, which is Joe Biden. Remember, he had this substantial lead. The more people saw him, he was not even being attacked in the debate format because it wasn't worth it. He was no longer close to leading. And it was all about Clyburn puts him in there. And we forget that this is Joe Biden, the one that President Obama said, right, you don't have to do this.
Yeah. I'd like to get him back out on the campaign trail so Steve Ducey's son can go after him again. Ask him some real questions.
Okay, ask him a real question. I know. So he's about to. He's not going to shake this. He's not going to shake this whole thing because this is not all the information that's coming out.
Oh no, that's true. Hey, listen, you want to promote any books? You got any books you want to promote, Brian Kilmeade?
Well, Howie, on May 12th, my paperback comes out. Sam Houston, The Alamo Avengers. I added what Sam Houston and what Lincoln tried to do with Sam Houston. That's keep Texas out of the Confederacy. So I added a chapter to that. So, and people.
All right.
You're breaking up, Brian Kilmeade. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, Brian. You're doing a great job, even in isolation. But I'll be glad when the curvy couch comes back and life returns to normal. Thanks, Brian. You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You can take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. That's why I like to have some when I wake up in the morning and also right before I go on the show every afternoon. Just take a little teaspoon, put it in some water, stir it up and drink it down. You'll feel a lot better. It's good for your blood pressure. It's good for your circulation. It's just a nice energy boost. And there's no drawbacks whatsoever. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow. Better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. And the science team behind Super Beets has conducted 11 clinical trials and was even given the Science Award by the Nutrition Business Journal. This level of research is unheard of in the nutrition category. These are some of the reasons why I love Super Beets and why it's worked for me and for Taylor and for Grace. To try Super Beets risk-free for 90 days, visit www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie and get a free 30-day supply, free shipping, and free nitric oxide strips to test your nitric oxide levels with your first purchase. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
If you change the station, the Moonbats win. You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Boone's Fish House and Oyster Room on the Portland waterfront. For amazing wood-grilled meats and seafood, visit the home of the baked stuffed lobster, Boone's, Portland.
And now, 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
It is a bill that is much needed for our farmers and ranchers. I think there are only 47 votes against it in the House of Representatives. The American people should know the source of it. Again, we are engaged in the year-end continuing resolution, Homeland Security. I'm not sure. No, I haven't spoken to him since he called the other day, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable. And I talked to Chuck last night to say, we haven't had an answer. There are other things that are going on that are newsworthy, and I think you'd have more viewers or readers if people address concerns that people have. The list goes on about the
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
How did you come up with the name VB?
My first producer and I both had steady girlfriends, or we were married or whatever. And VB was always saying that we were whipped. You know what I mean? Finally, I said, you don't even have a girlfriend. I've never seen you with a female. As a matter of fact, I don't think you have ever had sex. You are just a virgin boy.
What is your biggest fear?
That Donald Trump will not be reelected in 2020 and that some horrible Democrat will come in and finish off the destruction of this once great country.
Out of all of your daughters, who is the least like you and why?
Probably Charlotte, even though we went to the same high school, Deerfield Academy. She has a different sense of her responsibilities than I do. Let me put it that way. She has a different regard for money. She's not a cheap bastard, in other words.
This is Alex from East Bridgewater, Mass.
This is Ann in Saco, Maine.
This is John Succo from Hanson, Mass. And this is The Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of The Howie Carr Show. Taylor, I'm going to let you pick some of these cuts here. You had to go through the whole thing today with Joe Biden, with Mika Brzezinski. Give us some particularly choice sound cuts here.
You're looking for funny. You're looking for.
I'm looking for funny and incoherent at the same time. But let's stick with the, before we get into the really incoherent ones when he was being interviewed on the larger macro issues, shall we say? Let's stick with the Tara Reid allegations first.
He didn't make too many slip-ups phonetically in the that segment of the interview. I imagine he was very studied in that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions he had was, this stood out to me. He said he claimed not to remember anything going on, and he said it never happened, but then he said this.
I don't know why after 27 years, all of a sudden this gets raised. I don't understand it.
If there's nothing to be raised, why are you keeping track of the time?
You know, it was disappointing that she didn't ask him about that Larry King interview where the mother called in. I mean, that was pretty telling. And I guess the thing is, he's trying to diffuse the interview that she's going to give to Chris Wallace on Fox on Sunday. And isn't it interesting that that ABC has had an interview in the can for 5 weeks and they've killed it because it would hurt a Democrat. And 60 Minutes, boy, they can't wait to get stuff out about Republicans, even if it's fake, like the Texas Air National Guard thing in 2004. They just run with it, you know. But no, I guess 60 Minutes has no interest in having her on. So here is. I'm just looking here. Okay, this is Biden. Mika's asking him who would do the search, and there are a lot of pauses in here, but it's not a problem on the radio, and there's not a thunderstorm or anything like that. It's just Biden has just gone into a fog here. Cut number 19.
I'm just talking about her name, not anybody else in those records. A search for that. Nothing classified with the president or anybody else. I'm just asking, why not do a search for Tara Reid's name in the University of Delaware records?
Look, I mean, who does that search?
The University of Delaware. Perhaps you set up a commission that can do it. I don't know. Whatever is the fairest way to create the most transparency.
Well, look, Mika, she said she filed a report. She has her employment records still. She said she refiled a report with the only office that would have a report in the United States Senate at the time. If the report was ever filed, it was filed there, period.
So how about a name search? Come on. Mika keeps pressing this. Cut 17. We don't have time. We'll be right back. We'll continue this with
graces news. When we come back, 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
who would it be?
I would probably have dinner with William Shakespeare. I know that's a cliche response, but he was the greatest writer in the English language. No question about it.
If you won Mega Millions, would you retire completely?
Carr Show.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Do you remember her? Do you remember any types of complaints that she might have made?
He forgets his kids' names half the time.
I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Women have a right to be heard, and the press should rigorously investigate claims they make. I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters. And in this case, the truth is the claims are false.
Case closed. Good work, everyone.
Who's your
Can you hear me?
Howie Carr.
The facts in this case do not exist. They never happened. And there's so many inconsistencies in what has been said in this case.
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator, and the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Unchained and unstoppable.
As we...
Look, this is a very... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Please. No, that's all.
I've got two more
Nor has
questions. The first...
Okay, please.
Go ahead. The first is about your university.
Over 600,000 dead. That fictitious person you described, all the PPP. The president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the country, the world.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show, TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Many states are beginning to open up in other states, especially in the blue states run by power-mad Democrat governors. The lights are going out all over the blue states. It seems like it's an old line from the lights are going out all over Europe, but mandatory masks are being proposed. Demonstrations are breaking out in the state capitals of the blue states, like Michigan, like Springfield, Illinois, like Boston, Massachusetts, which has a Republican in name only governor. We're going to be talking to a brew pub owner in Oxford County, Maine, who's defying the power mad governor up there. 53 deaths from coronavirus, 380 deaths from drug overdoses, and nobody's cracking down on drug overdoses. They don't seem to care. No, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Anyway, 844-500-4242 if you would like to join us here today on the Howie Carr Show. We got a lot planned. And right now, though, it's time for Grace's News.
Hello, Howard.
Hi there, Grace.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday. What a week. It has been a long one for all of you who are stuck in quarantine. I hope you had a nice week, and we're about to bring you some very funny news, at least, Howie. I'm going to start with this piece that you sent me from the New York Post, and it was so amazing. I'm going to retweet it from your Twitter account, Howard. The New York Times is too oblivious to realize how insufferable it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
Maureen Callahan's column today. It's pretty funny.
She was not holding back, Howie. She
Why
went
should she?
at these people. I'm jealous. Maureen, I got to tell you, I'm writing a column right now, and I'm jealous of what you wrote. She ripped them to shreds. Definitely not within 700 words, though, Howie. This was a pretty lengthy piece for the New York Post, at least. I'll read you a couple lines here. she basically goes into how all of these pieces, it's very similar to the Boston Globe. They're all very, white, wealthy, elitist columnists. Trust funds who write about the roaring fires and,
Right.
the potato au gratin that they're making for dinner, et cetera, et cetera. So she first writes about Maureen Dowd. She said, and so we have op-ed columnist Maureen Dowd, who has built a far too long career out of relying almost exclusively on King Lear and the original Star Wars trilogy as political metaphor, profiling Larry David at the pandemic's outset. Indeed, who among us was not wondering how an A-list Hollywood star would be faring in his mansion situated on a golf course in LA's Pacific Palisades? And it's not like Dowd doesn't have COVID-related problems of her own, In the middle of this profile, she tells the reader she was so nervous about how she'd look on FaceTime that, quote, I asked my lighting sensei, Tom Ford, for some tips, and he kindly sent these instructions, which you are welcome to use, end quote. Wow, we really are all in this together, Maureen writes. She goes on to talk about another piece they had in the New York Times that was titled, My 4-year-old thinks she's a sous chef. I'm trying to remain calm. She said, there are plenty of Americans, by the way, who don't know what a sous chef is. Now is not the time. And then
What is a sous chef, by the way, Grace?
It's the person who cuts up all the ingredients so the chef can just throw them in.
It's a soup chef, but they don't put any pea in it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was for sauces. It's not for sauces? You
No,
learn
it's
something
not.
every day.
See, maybe I'm more New York Times than you are, Howie. Maybe I'm a bit more of a beautiful person than you. She also goes on to write about the Times has given those of us who hate read unintentional. Oh, sorry, I'm all.
How can
tongue-tied today.
here's the thing though. I don't even hate read the New York Times anymore. I don't even pick it up. It's just so exasperating. And
I think they're like the Boston Globe on steroids, because these people talk about how they graduated from Wesleyan and how they're calling up their expert friend, so-and-so Gwyneth Paltrow to talk about candles. They really have no sense of self-awareness. And yet the whole time they write,
Trump's doing a press conference. I'll let you know when he's taking questions. He's just in the Oval Office.
there's two justice systems, one for the poor, one for the rich. And the only people reading the New York Times are the very, very rich and the very, very elite who do not connect with the outside world. And the columns just go to show you that. I wouldn't write a column about how my 4-year-old, I don't have a 4-year-old, but my 4-year-old thinks she's a sous chef, or, this is the problem with my latest whatever. It's just absurd. And they don't see it, which is the funniest part. They lecture you like you're so out of touch, and we're all credulous boomer rubes, and they don't understand that this is why we don't buy the New York Times.
Why don't we play some Biden cuts?
Sure.
I'm tired of talking about Maureen Dowd.
Anyone in particular you want to play, Howie, or you just want to go through them?
No, just you just pick. Well, let's play some of the funnier ones that from. How about the strange washer machine analogy? Cut 22.
Well, it's like having a washing machine where there's no water and you don't have any detergent. There are machines, but you need the material. Why isn't he insisting that be moved quickly and insist that this began to happen?
I don't think I'm going to have Joe Biden do my laundry anytime soon. That didn't make any sense. Am I saying something crazy here? That didn't make any sense. Howie, there was one I wanted to play. Let's play cut 23, Taylor.
Very little of us getting into that person that fictitious person you described.
That fictitious person.
Oh, gosh.
Well, let's just keep going down. Cut 24.
I was put in charge of getting in the middle of the recession, the last recession we had, the major recession.
He was put in charge of getting in the recession?
Thanks for reminding us, Joe, that the last recession we had, you were at the helm.
And, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, right? Starring Jimmy Stewart, a very famous movie of the 1930s. Jimmy Stewart was in many famous movies over the years. Joe Biden can do a really good Jimmy Stewart. Cut 25.
Right now, we're in a situation where we have an awful lot of small businesses being told by the big banks, you're not in line. You don't get it. You're not. And we should be moving in a direction to keep people on the payroll. That's what the money said that the money was going to go to larger operations.
And you know what the thing is, Howie,
George
with
Bailey
all these...
has nothing on Joe Biden.
Your money's not here. It's over in the Maxwell house. It's in a million different places.
Uncle Lionel Barrymore, you lost the money. No, he lost the money to Lionel Barrymore. Excuse me. I'm getting mixed up.
The thing with these basement interviews is that it's hard to get timing right when you can't see someone. Like, I can't see Howie right now. I can see Taylor, so I can get the timing better with Taylor than I can with Howie. But you figure with a politician, after years and years of doing these interviews, you get a little bit better at it. He's awful with the timing. And so is Mika. Those pauses in between, and then they keep talking over each other. At a certain point, you just have to say, you go, and then back off the mic.
Unless it's clear from the facts surrounding it, it's not the truth.
As we...
Look, this is a very... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Please. No, that's all.
As we await...
Have you ever... Sometimes you have to do interviews with people that are on another continent or another hemisphere, and the signals go off the satellite, and there's a 2-second delay. But in this case, Mika was in Jupiter, Florida, I think, and he's in Wilmington, Delaware. There is no 2-second delay. So what's the problem?
Howie, you know what that whole clip reminds me of? You know, when you're walking by someone in the hallway and it's that awkward, and you both go the same way, and then you both try to go the other way, and it's just uncomfortable. I just cringe so hard listening to that. I'm sweating in here.
I've got 2 more questions. The first...
Okay, please.
Go ahead. The first is about your university.
Make it stop. Oh my gosh. They should just play that. Trump should just play that for his campaign ad. Make enough people cringe. Guys, don't forget, it's a great day to get your Buy American, Support America t-shirt. These are made in the USA and they're fabulous. We have new navy blue t-shirts and you guys are going to love them. And if you buy a t-shirt, you get a free book. There's so many different packages, but these are only, Taylor, I know I double checked. I got to double check again. Are these $20? $19.99?
$19.99.
I cannot be right, Howie. I got to double check with the mailer manager. It seems too cheap, but if you go on now, $19.99, and it's a really good Mother's Day gift. Do not forget. And when we get back on the other side, I got Howie. I think we're just going to play more Biden sound.
There's a lot here. And Grace, send me all the stuff from Wednesday too, please. Just so I'll have it to mess around with over the weekend.
You got it, dude.
I'm Howie Carr.
He's the maestro of microaggression. He's Howie Carr.
Here's how
If
it
you
works
listen to
with
Joe
my
Biden long
retirement
enough,
account.
you could suffer a
And you
seizure.
think of
Did they bring over the
progress
Although I'd prefer Five Guys.
Facebook or Twitter?
Definitely Twitter. I hate Facebook.
Cake or pie?
I'm a cake guy.
Coke or Pepsi?
Diet Coke.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, obviously.
Winter or summer?
Summer. Good Lord. Why would you want winter?
Doesn't look like Trump took any questions.
He didn't? Okay.
Hi, this is Val from Longmeadow, Mass.
Hi, this is Tony and Pietra from Haverhill, Massachusetts.
This is Myrnie in Fairfax County, Virginia, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
The pandemic is that the president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the world.
You'd think he'd learned something. He got so much grief, at least in social media, not from his fluffers in the Democrat alt-left media, but everybody else was kidding him about saying economic intercourse. And then he comes back this morning and says the same thing.
Well, you know, Howie, to him, intercourse never meant sex. Making whoopee meant sex.
23 skidoo. He remembers those old days back in the rumble seat of his Model A, back when he was a young whippersnapper. Back when Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the president in 1929, he thinks, and was going on TV for the fireside chats. He's talked about all this stuff, you know. Today's poll question is brought to you by the Howie Carr Show Mother's Day Special. Get a free copy of one of my books with every order of Buy American, Support America t-shirts in navy blue. I just held one up for you. Plus, get free shipping on orders of $49.99 or more. Visit HowieCarrshow.com and click on store to order. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will you wear a mask in public per Charlie Baker's order?
This is in Massachusetts, our home state. He announced that today. Apparently, he's got a truce with the coronavirus until Wednesday. It's not necessary to wear the mask until Wednesday. No, I will not.
70% say they're not going to wear any masks.
By the way, he has just issued he came back out into Gardner Auditorium at the State House to make a new announcement. In addition to wearing a mask, he has a new haberdashery edict for everyone in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Hear me. I am your new president. From this day on, the official language of San Marcos will be Swedish. In addition to that, all citizens will be required to change their underwear every half hour. Underwear will be worn on the outside so we can check.
Is that right, Governor Parker? All underwear will be worn on the outside so you can check?
Howie, did I tell you that Charlie Parker was an answer in last night's Jeopardy?
Was he? Really?
And it said something, the real Charlie Parker, not Charlie Baker.
Oh.
But I didn't even get it. I never get any answers, and that was one that I should have gotten, and I still didn't get it.
Was it something about his nickname, the Bird?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, that's the only thing that most people could get, even Jeopardy contestants.
Howie, our friend Kevin, who is at the Sunday River Brewing,
yes,
he just texted me and said, "It's official. A sheriff just drove by and tooted his horn a few times." And I said, just to be doubly sure, because I'm such a good journalist, I said, "Tooted in support," and he said, "Yes, drove by on Route 2."
This is the brewery brew pub owner who's defying Governor Mills' orders, and he's opened up today. So. First, Maine, as many of you know, used to be part of Massachusetts, and then Maine became a separate state. So now I'm beginning to think, Grace, that everything north of Cumberland County and north of Portland is going to become another state.
Wowzers.
They don't much like what's going on in wear your underwear on the outside is going to be the new edict in Maine now that it's going into effect in Massachusetts. What else have we got, Grace?
Howie, we're going to play more Joe Biden sound, but first I want to remind everyone that Mother's Day is coming up. It's right around the corner. To order 30 assorted tulips for $39.99, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Howie. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Howie. Hurry, this offer ends today. I'm not going to be reminding you guys this, so especially all the boys out there, get your mom some nice flowers. Taylor, let's play cut 13.
I am absolutely positive that no one that I'm aware of ever has been made aware of any complaint, a formal complaint made by or complaint by Tara Reade against me at the time this allegedly happened 27 years ago, or until I announced for I guess it was in April or May of this year.
He sounds like a
How many
robot.
times did he use the word complaint in there? About 4 times. But Grace, how can he be absolutely certain?
Howie, let's talk about the fact that he sounds like a robot that someone poured water on and is melting down. Like someone has to take his batteries out or he's going to explode.
In the meantime, we cannot let up on what needs to be done. You know, one of the things every morning, this morning I get a brief from medical docs on the status of where things are. And,
where things are?
The former head of the, anyway.
This sounds like the Who's On First routine, but he's performing both sides of the routine.
Does he get a medical update on himself? Is that it?
Yeah, Mr. Vice President, we're almost 2 weeks away from Easter. Have you found all the Easter eggs yet that you hid?
The fact is that I don't remember.
We'll be right back with Free Maine. Free Maine. I'm Howie Carr.
It's nearly summer, and we here at Matthews Brothers are wondering where the heck spring went. We're as happy as clams to see things getting back to normal, but the past couple months haven't exactly been unproductive. For example, we got back in touch with a good buddy, the Nigerian Prince, called on Ralph in Bangalore a few times to check the status of our car's warranty, and started following the fascinating sport of professional dirt track marble racing. When we weren't doing that, we watched with pride as the rest of America responded to this once-in-a-generation crisis. Of course, there were the amazing first responders, but behind them were the combined forces of everyday Americans, the Paul Harfords and all the other truck drivers who kept things rolling, the Farmer Johns and all the Shadow Valley farms across the nation, and the grocery stores, even those with their one-way aisles. But mostly, we're proud of all our Matthews brothers and sisters who continue to stay focused on our role in supporting the construction industry by doing what we do best, making wicked awesome windows and doors. You can see those products, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one team, America's oldest window manufacturer.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
You are known as a cheap bastard. Which
What?
one of your daughters is the cheapest and why?
Okay. Charlotte is the cheapest, and I say that because she's always using my credit card. We keep changing the credit cards over and over again, and she keeps busting in and using them again. Most recently, just this week, she spent $75 at AT&T.
What's the cheapest thing you do now to save money?
The cheapest thing I do currently to save money, I guess, is I take all the bottles and cans back to the market basket every weekend. I always like to save that money. I can't stand to throw those bottles and cans away and have the unclaimed returns go to the state of Massachusetts for illegal aliens.
Do you recycle?
Yes, I do recycle. When I got on the town meeting, I saw that the town dump was probably the only department in the town that was running in the black, and it's because of all the recycling that was going on. So I try to keep my taxes down that way. Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
If you could go back in time and give your younger self advice, what would you say?
Get a state job, because behind the job comes the pension.
What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
Most advice is pretty forgettable.
What's the best money you've ever spent?
The investment I made to leave the corporate radio prison I was in, the worst people I ever worked for, no doubt about it. I'd probably be dead if I were still working for them.
If you were on a deserted island and you could only bring 3 things, what would you bring?
A radio, a Wi-Fi system, obviously, and a computer, and I would bring some books. Don't ask me which books, too hard a question.
What was your dad's job when you were growing up?
My dad worked as a resort hotel manager. He worked in Florida at the Breakers in the winter, and then he worked at the Mountain View House, as it was called then, in Whitefield, New Hampshire, and various other places.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
So now you've broken your elbow. Have you ever broken any other bones?
When I was 8 years old, I broke my leg. I was playing touch football in Portland, and a big kid, a 15-year-old, tackled me. When I was in my 30s, I was going down the stairs, and one of the kids' toys was on the stairs, and I tripped on it and broke my foot. I lost a tooth playing touch football when I was just out of Deerfield. I got smacked in the jaw. My tooth went up, and I still have a bridge, a crown from that mishap. I have a replacement hip, and now I have a bunch of pins in my left elbow.
When do you plan to retire?
I don't plan on retiring. As an old football coach once said, once you retire, there's only one big moment left. You know what that is.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
You know, Godspeed, Rick Savage. Good luck tomorrow, truly. I hope you'll tell us how it goes.
I really appreciate Tucker coming on, and I hope all these restaurants will be able to open. And one further thing, I would love to share Janet Mills' cell phone number with everybody so they could give her a call directly, because she's got all the phones shut down. You can't even call. It goes to voicemail. The lawmaker.
We've got the new voicemail.
Back to you soon. Here's her phone number. It's 207.
I don't know.
491.
Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. How about this?
What's that?
I may have cut you up. Look, if our viewers are interested, it's Sunday River Brew Pub in Bethel, Maine. Call, ask for Rick Savage, and he'll do it.
We are joined now on the line by the owner of the Sunday River Brewing Company in Oxford County, Bethel, Newry, Maine. Rick Savage. Rick, thank you so much for making a stand for the people, the benighted, beaten down citizens of Maine. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And that was one of the funniest TV moments I've seen in a long time last night, when you gave out her cell phone number. As of course you know, Janet Mills has had to get a new cell phone.
Message GH22. The number you have called is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and dial again. Message GH22.
Don't you feel bad about that, Rick Savage? She had to get a new cell phone number.
All. I've been trying to get a hold of her for 2 or 3 weeks. She won't take anybody's calls.
So
she's hiding behind emails. She don't even take the lawmakers' calls.
So tell it. So you have the. How long has the brewery been open? The beer pub been open?
We've owned it for 5.5 years. It's been here for about 25 years. We're the second owners.
And so I assume business.
We're the third oldest brewery in Maine.
And I assume business was pretty good until very, very recently, wasn't it?
Business was awesome. Since we've been shut down, we've lost $650,000 in revenue, and the state's lost out on $45,000 in taxes.
Wow.
And so Governor Mills has kept the restaurants basically shut down in the entire state. How many fatalities have there been in Oxford County, Maine, where you are?
None.
Zero.
Yes.
But you're shut down just as if you were on the east side of Manhattan.
Yes. And she told everybody it'd be May 1st, so we geared up for that. And then this last week, she said Tuesday, the lawmakers didn't even know. She comes out, oh, we got a 3-month phase-in plan. Like I can go 25% for a month, and then when I prove myself, I can go more. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. She's doing this all on her own. She's not even consulting the lawmakers.
So you just said you were going to open. You opened at 4:00 today. Tell us what it's like now at the Sunday River Brewing Company.
We opened at noontime, and we've had a line of 50 to 100 people since noon. And right now, there's probably, how many people outside here would you guys say? 1,000? 500? 500 or 600 people right now. The state just pulled in with the state liquor inspector, state health inspector, and another person. And we're hearing that the state troopers are right down the road and getting ready to come in and arrest us.
Really? Well, why haven't they arrested you already? And what about? Wait a second. Shouldn't this be a job for the deputies, the sheriffs, the Oxford County Sheriff's Department? What are they? Are they just doing a hands off with this? Do they not want to get involved?
The sheriff Wainwright called me this morning. He said we deal with crimes. We're not getting political. If anything happens, it will be the state police.
Really? Wow.
Yes. Well, they threatened me this morning. I haven't been selling booze today because they called me this morning and threatened to take my liquor license for a year.
So are you selling just not selling booze, or are you selling beer? I mean, that's one of your big things.
No.
I mean, you're selling beer.
No, right now today we're not. No, today we're not selling alcohol or beer. We're selling food only because we called them out. We want them to arrest me, and once they do that, then it's all hands off. Hands on. We're just going to go right after them.
So what do you think they're doing? Are they waiting to arrest you like on live on the local news at 5:30 or 6 o'clock?
Well, I think they were giving it time because they thought we were opening up at 4. So I think they're giving it time for people to show up in my restaurant to get full, and it's been full all day. So that way they can say that he's violating the law, he's violating her order. You see what I mean?
But you're observing the social distancing, right? You keeping these tables separate, correct?
Yes, we are. Yes, we got every other table marked off with tape so nobody can sit there.
So what of the other restaurant owners in the state of Maine, and especially around in your area, everything north of Portland, there's basically no coronavirus, not very little anyway. Right. A little outburst in Bangor at a homeless shelter, but that's it. So what are the restaurant owners saying to you when they call you?
They're saying that if we don't get back to work soon, we're going out of business. And they also like to coast it. They can't rent a hotel or can't even book anything until August. So you go August, they're going to be the summer's over. So talking with people, the coastal restaurants along Route 1 aren't even going to open up if the hotels can't book reservations.
Right. I just got a text from somebody, from a pest guy down in my neck of the woods around Goose Rocks Beach, and he said that everybody's canceling their summer rentals, because they just can't be sure if the state's going to be open, so everybody's just canceling, and this is killing people all up and down the coast and in state.
Well, you think about this: if they can't have this summer, they go 18 months without revenue. If they lose this summer, those businesses on the coast go 18 months without bringing money in.
So what do you say? What do you say to Janet Mills, other than this is her phone number for the entire country to have and call her? What do you say to Governor Mills?
I think she needs to get some smart people around her and figure out a good plan to get people back to work and make it work with the businesses. They're just not doing it.
Do you think that
they just don't care about the people in Maine? She's trying to. She went through all of our rainy day funds the first couple months she was in office. Okay, we're broke. We've been broke for a while. Now she's trying to make it worse to the point where, we get more federal money because we're so broke. See what I mean? That's her plan. They're trying to get federal money to bail them out. Well, they were already broke before this virus. I told them, I said, listen, give the restaurants back the money we collected for you in January and February, suspend March's sales tax, the 8% we collected, and each restaurant should be good to get by on that until we open back up. One of the lawmakers told me, he said, that money's already spent.
So are you expecting?
So they're spending it as quick as it comes in.
So Rick Savage, owner of Sunday River Brewing Company in New Remain, are you expecting to be arrested in an hour or so?
Yes.
You don't think they're just going to issue you a citation? They're actually going to put you in cuffs and put you in the back of a cruiser and take you away?
I would think so, yes.
And so when you get bailed out at some point tonight or whenever, what are you going to do then?
Well, if we get out quick enough, we're going to go right back on Tucker Carlson Live. I've got a lawyer lined up to help me get right out quick if possible, but he said they couldn't mess with me and try to make me stay over the weekend.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering about that, because the courts are closed, so they could say, well, right. You can't, you're going to have to appear before a judge on Monday morning. And tonight it's Friday night. So you might have to spend the weekend in jail. So is the restaurant just going to be closed down? The brew pub going to be shut down again till you get out, or is your brother going to take over and run it?
No, I have a management team. I've got a front end manager, kitchen manager. I've got an office manager. They're all in place. They run this thing for me. We got 6 different companies, and they run this place a lot of times. I'm out in an excavator sometimes, but they'll carry on and run it for me when I'm not here.
Is anybody else going to pick up the torch and continue this civil disobedience against the draconian shutdown measures of the Democrat governor?
I'm hoping, but I'm hoping I'm not out that long and we can keep it going. I think if they arrest me, I don't think it's going to be good for the state.
Man, do you like being the face of the Free Maine movement?
Somebody had to do it, and nobody was stepping up, And when I started hearing everybody's going to have to stay closed for another 3 months and prove to them we can do our business and stuff, enough is enough, And I've been a critic before on the sign ordinance, and I've spoken up before, and I've done that over the years. I mean, we have employees, and we look out for our employees, and if we don't speak up for ourselves, nobody's going to do it.
Why do you think there's not more pushback? I know, barbershops now are open in Maine, supposedly hair salons, dog groomers, but why aren't more people? I mean, a lot of people, like you say, 10% of the state population, not just the workforce, 10% of the people who live in the state of Maine, just like so many other states, have lost their jobs since this panic began. Why isn't there more pushback, Rick Savage?
Because the state don't listen anyway. We've been so frustrated in this state for so long. They're not listening to the people. They get in power, and then they got their own little clubhouse down in Augusta, and they do what they want to do. They've been doing it for a long time. Ever since she took over, at least LePage would come in, Governor LePage come into my restaurant 2 or 3 times, sat down with us. We talked to him for half hour a couple times. He's a nice guy. He wanted to hear what Maine businesses had to say. She don't do that. She don't care. I got people here from Booth Bay Harbor right now with signs. They own a campground. They can't even open a campground, and they're just frustrated. They're like, people are going to open up. I heard the bowling alley in town's opening up. I heard people up in Rangeley are going to open up. I heard people in Jackman that's going to open up. I heard a bunch of people are going to defy the order and open up.
They can't arrest you all, can they?
Well, that's what we're saying. Trust me right now. They arrest me with this crowd I got out here right now. There might be problems. There's a lot of people here. There's a vehicle pulling in this yard every 5 seconds right now.
Wow. So tell people how to get there, because you're on all over the state of Maine and all across the country. How do people get to the Sunday River Brewing Company?
You would go.
Ask if he has Janet Mills' new number.
Road. We're right off Route 26, Route 2. It's right in Bethel, Maine. You can't miss us. We got a big flag out front. It's beautiful. We got a 50-foot flag out front.
That's great. One last thing. Do you have Janet Mills' new cell phone number?
No, I don't. If I get it, I'll pass it on.
Message GH22. The number you have called is no longer in service.
People always remember that. I still remember when Donald Trump gave out Lindsey Graham's 4 years ago, and I'll be remembering what you did to Janet Mills last night. Rick Savage, good luck, and an arrest is always a disappointment, but I think you're making a good point, and I salute you for standing up for the free state of Maine. Thank you, Rick Savage. With all the uncertainty in the world, feeling safe at home has never been more important. It's why I want to talk with you about Simply Safe Home Security. They're longtime friends of the Howie Carr Show, and for good reason. Simply Safe has made it easy to finally get comprehensive protection for your home. There's no technician or salesperson that needs to come and disrupt your house. You don't need to pay any outrageous monthly fees or sign a 2-year contract. You just order online, set it up yourself in under an hour, and your home is protected 24/7 with emergency dispatch for break-ins, fire, and more, all for just 50 cents a day. And we're not the only fans of Simply Safe. U.S. News and World Report called Simply Safe best overall home security of 2020. Right now, when you head to simplysafehowie.com, my listeners will get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. That's simplysafehowie.com to make sure they know that our show sent you. From Simply Safe and all of us here, wishing you safety and good health. I'm Howie Carr.
Give it here, chumps. More Howie Carr after this.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving.
Hey, Howie.
Yes.
Somebody in the line is making a Savage for Governor sign.
So he's going to run in a primary.
Stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
Would you say you're more like your mom or your dad?
No, I don't think I ended up being like either of them now that I think about it. My mother worked hard, but she never really learned how to make a lot of money. And my father didn't work so hard.
That was a fun interview.
Personality. He was good with people. He was better than me with people. That's why I'm saying I'm not like either one of them, I don't think.
Did you have any siblings?
Hey, if you take callers, go to Cindy first. She's got an account similar to Tara Reid's, just not about Joe Biden.
Ones you already have. Anywhere in the world, where would they be?
I wouldn't mind having another house in Palm Beach on Clark Avenue. Maybe a place in southern Maine. I don't need a third place.
Didn't you already have a house in Maine?
I did. It was on an island. It was not a good fit for the mailroom manager.
I've heard the house was haunted. Is that true?
Yes. And, my wife didn't really care that much for my relatives.
This is Mark in Williston, Vermont.
This is Marie in Somerville, Massachusetts.
This is Mike from South Attleboro, Mass. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Earlier today, I signed an executive order requiring residents to use a face covering in public places when they cannot socially distance from others. This order does not apply to children under the age of 2 or to people who are unable to wear a face mask or a face covering due to medical conditions or other DPH-issued exemptions. The public's required to wear a face covering at all times in grocery stores, retail stores, or on public transportation. The order goes into effect on May 6th.
So it's very important for public health, but it's not until May 6th. 5 days, we've got a truce with the coronavirus. Then the cooties aren't going to attack anybody until May 6th. But you got to be prepared then. And we have the new order that just came. The new supplemental order has just come out. It was issued by the governor's top assistant. Maybe we don't have it.
Hear me. I am your new president. From this day on, the official language of San Marcos will be Swedish. In addition to that, all citizens will be required to change their underwear every half hour. Underwear will be worn on the outside so we can check.
That's Tal Duvall's latest order. Underwear has to be changed every 30 minutes and it has to be worn on the outside. Okay.
Papers.
844-500-4242. Cindy, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Cindy.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I know many people have said about Tara Reid, why didn't she come forward? And I just wanted to provide some perspective because I went through something very similar around that same time. And if working for any male-dominated industry, especially like politics and other industries, if you made any kind of complaint, it didn't matter how far up the chain you tried to go, all that happened was you made yourself a target because there was no sexual harassment training. There was no corporations understanding that they have liability for these kinds of things. And all that happened was that people would demote you, make your life a living hell, and try to get you to leave voluntarily. And if you wouldn't, if you were trying to stick it out, you would be fired. And then at that point, trying to get another job in your chosen field was impossible because you were blackballed.
Well, she was fired.
Job.
Cindy, she was fired, Tara Reid. You know?
Well, I know. And you know, and if any employer calls for a reference, you know, they would never hire you with any whiff that you had tried to pursue something like this against an employer. And if you tried to go through the EEOC or after that with a private attorney, you were committing yourself to years of struggling through the legal system and to no guaranteed result that you would be successful. And even if you were, as I was in my case, believe me, the compensation was not worth years and years of loss of income and never working again in the chosen field. So
I hope Tara Reid is going to make those points.
Come forward.
I think Tara Reid is going to be making those points. And you're very articulate. I'm sorry this happened to you. And I think most people understand this now. Alexander Coburn was a left-winger, but he was a great columnist for the old Village Voice in New York City for a while. And then he started Counterpunch. And this is from 2008. He's dead now, but this is what he wrote in 2008 about Biden. Biden is a notorious flapjaw. His vanity deludes him into believing that every word that drops from his mouth is minted in the golden currency of Pericles. Vanity is the most conspicuous characteristics of U.S. senators en bloc, nourished by deferential acolytes and often expressed in loutish sexual advances to staffers, interns, and the like.
On more than one occasion, Counterpunch's editors have listened to vivid accounts by the recipient of just such advances. This staffer of another senator being accosted by Biden in the well of the Senate in the weeks immediately following his first wife's fatal car accident. So what Coburn is saying, he's heard stories going back to 1973 because his wife was killed, his first wife was killed in 1972. Have a good weekend, everybody. Say a prayer for Rick Sunday. Savage, I'm Howie Carr. Dysfunction isn't easy. playing a hand of bridge just to be able to count cards.
What is a rhino?
Rhino is a Republican in name only. Think Paul Ryan. Oh, think Mitt Romney. Think Jeff Flake.
Howie says it all the time. When it comes to bad politicians, Massachusetts takes the cake.
It is my honor to introduce to you your senator, my senator, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
I know who I am because of what my mother and my father told me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Governor Deval Patrick.
And frankly, I got to tell you, with all the other things I'm worrying about, this is not one. We're going to be fine. I'm in charge.
Please join me in welcoming our own Senator Ed Markey.
The planet is running a fever. There are no emergency rooms for planets.
The very first African-American congresswoman to be elected from Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley.
We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't
Is
need
Kevin going to
queers
hang
that
in
don't
there
wanna be a
for
queer
the
voice.
to give us an update when they bust him?
Yeah, he lives 2 miles away. We're going to try.
Okay, good.
Fine.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
I'm the Vice President of the United States.
Love him or hate him, Joe Biden's here for the long haul, but we can't get enough of his gaffes. Here's the best of Uncle Joe
Taylor.
speaking before he...
Can you send me all these sound cuts today?
Yeah.
These are just hilarious. These Biden sound cuts. Okay.
You want all of them?
I want number 13. I want number 21, number 22, number 23, number 24, number 20.
All right, I'll flag the funny ones, all the gaffes and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and
I'll have Grace send it.
Okay, 600. Call to get a free, no obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912.
Of hate. Howie Carr.
Who do you consider the biggest rhino in the Republican Party?
Probably is Paul Ryan. I wish a Republican were still the speaker, but Paul Ryan was scarcely a Republican. And there was a reason he was Mitt Romney's running mate, because we had a rhino ticket in 2012.
Where did the expression, "How many more, Mr. Speaker? How many more?" come from?
That comes from the State House. There used to be a state rep who sometimes would talk about atrocities that were happening in crime. And he would get up there and he would say, "How many more, Mr. Speaker? How many more?" And I just picked it up and...
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Do you remember her? Do you remember any types of complaints that she might have made?
He forgets his kids' names half the time.
I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Women have a right to be heard, and the press should rigorously investigate claims they make. I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters. And in this case, the truth is the claims are false.
Case closed.
Good work, everyone.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
The facts in this case do not exist. They never happened. And there's so many inconsistencies in what has been said in this case.
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator, and the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Unchained and unstoppable.
As we...
Look, this is a very... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Please. No, that's all.
I've got two more
Nor has
questions. The first...
Okay, please.
Go ahead. The first is about your university.
Over 600,000 dead. That fictitious person you described, all the PPP. The president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the country, the world.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. We have a guy up at the Sunday River Brewing Company in Bethel, Maine. And he's a friend of the show. He's been down here in Boca, and he's from Boston. But he has a place up there, and he's sticking around. He lives only 2 miles away. So we're going to try to use him as our on-the-scene reporter in case anything happens. And we told him to shoot some video if he can with his cell phone. If they actually do lug Rick Savage. So we'll let you know as the afternoon goes on. And this is what's going on is just really ridiculous here. And as it becomes clearer and clearer that this thing is overblown. I mean, the 10-pot dictators like Mills, like Pritzker, like Whitmer, and like Charlie Baker Parker, Tal Duvall, are clamping down more and more.
Your papers, please.
Your papers, please. And here's one. This is someone was saying, I can't believe how many people who liked Charlie Baker are just disgusted with his overreach. And the guy says it's almost like he's trying to make up for what happened at the Holyoke Soldiers Home. 70 people dead. He appointed a guy who was probably a nice guy, but he's a political hack, second-generation political hack, Democrat. That's the way they operate. The Republicans, they hire Democrat O-line types, and then they rely on them, and they give big money to, in this case, the guy gave big money to pay to play Polito and to Charlie Baker, and all these people ended up dead. And Charlie Baker claims they weren't notified, and the guy, the superintendent of the home, the hack, says, I did notify him, and nobody did anything. And his uncle is the former DA of Hampden County. And I'm going to guess that they have proof that they did call. And Charlie Baker knows it's all coming out. There's a federal investigation, 2 state investigations, and an in-house Brumit investigation that Charlie Baker's administration is paying for. So the truth is going to come out about these 70 dead people at the Holyoke Soldiers Home, at least 70. And Charlie Baker's trying to get behind it by punishing all the rest of the people in the state of Massachusetts. And it's not going to work, Charlie. It's not going to work. 844-500-4242. Time now for the Chump Line.
I did not have economic intercourse with that woman.
Where's my tapioca pudding?
Come on, man, Mika. What kind of question is that?
Actually, he sounded semi-coherent, but he could only hold it together for that one segment with Mika. Once they started asking about other things, that's when he started talking about the fictitious person and the 600,000 dead, coronavirus, et cetera, et cetera. He just he totally fell apart. How do you think
we haven't played that one yet?
We haven't. Oh, that's right. We haven't played the 600,000 dead. Let's play that one then. Cut 27.
Over 600,000 dead. Many of them are people who are those workers, those nurses, the doctors, some of them, because they have put themselves in a position to save other people's lives, protect the rest of society. And we talk about that number like 600 plus thousand people. There's each and every one of them.
60,000. Yeah,
660. I missed it. 60,000, over 60,000 deaths.
660,000. 600,000 dead. Okay, the Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. During the national mitigation, we have been fortunate enough to be able to supply our wicked awesome windows and doors to the ongoing process of infrastructure maintenance and construction, including affordable housing projects. In fact, we are now actively hiring. So yes, we're optimistic about our country's recovery.
I can't wait till Joe Biden's presidential run turns into a perp walk.
You know, the thing is, he was at those meetings, but you know how at some meetings, there's some people who are just staring straight ahead and they don't know what's going on. Don't you get the feeling that when they were plotting how they were going to frame Trump with all this made up nonsense about Russian collusion that didn't exist, and then they were going to nail Michael Flynn because he was an enemy of the state, of the deep state. Don't you get the feeling Joe was just sitting there going,
Hey, Howie, can I charge Governor Mills for my new blood pressure meds?
This is just so bad. You know, the tourism industry she's crushing it underfoot, and she doesn't care. She has not the slightest interest in the fact that 100,000 Mainers are out of business. Just like Tal Duvall doesn't care that 900,000 Massachusetts residents have lost their jobs. He just wants the virtue signal by requiring everyone to wear masks and their underwear on the outside.
Janet Mills' cell phone and Joe Biden, both permanently disconnected.
Yeah, the difference being that Janet Mills has probably got a new cell phone by now. Joe Biden has not got a new brain.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize Governor Charlie Parker, Massachusetts' non-essential employee of the month, 6 years in a row.
Has he ordered his son to observe social distancing when he's sitting next to a female on a flight from D.C.? And by the way, where is that report? I've got to make a call to get that to get the police report, the early notes of that report from the Massachusetts State Police. I sought it out. I filed a Freedom of Information Act request about right when the panic began, right when the state employees all went on their vacation, and I haven't heard back from anybody. When the cell phone don't ring, I'll know it's the corrupt Massachusetts State Police.
Message GH22. The number you have called is no longer in service.
Not another one.
There is a governor named Janet Mills who kowtows to the Democrat shills. With her choice to abstain from reopening Maine, she is feeding the people red pills.
Oh, very good. A limerick, a Janet Mills limerick. With a name like Mills, she should be the subject of multiple limericks.
Here am Senator Dawn. I see that Biden has put you in charge of picking his lady running mate. I trust you'll vet the candidates thoroughly to make sure they have the proper qualifications. Specifically that they're blonde and they like sandwiches.
Yes. Somewhere Ted Kennedy is smiling at what's going on in the Democrat Party with elder statesmen like Chris
Dodd stepping in to select the proper female running mate. Maybe I hope they're going to interview Kamala Harris. And do you have any character references, Senator Harris? Willie Brown, the former mayor and speaker. Oh, really? What's your relationship to Willie Brown, Senator Harris? I worked under him.
Hey, Charlie Parker, I'm going to blow my horn wearing a face mask.
And thought about that, man. You couldn't, any horn, clarinet, trumpet, but especially a saxophone, man. Bird, don't you want to reconsider?
Hey, Howie, I was in the bank, and this guy walked in wearing a mask, and the tellers looked real nervous. And he says, "Relax, I'm only here to rob you."
This is what's known as gallows humor.
Hey, Nancy, I don't need a lecture either.
Boy, that's an excellent observation. She told that reporter yesterday, who was saying, what's the difference between Christine Blasey Ford and Tara Reid, other than the fact that Tara Reid has some corroboration? And Nancy Pelosi, as you probably know, I don't need a lecture. She does need a lecture, though. She really does.
That was your last chump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message at any hour of the day or night, including weekends. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. During this national mitigation, we have been fortunate enough to be able to supply our wicked awesome windows and doors to the ongoing process of infrastructure maintenance and construction, including affordable housing projects. In fact, we are now actively hiring. So yes, we're optimistic about our country's recovery.
Janet Mills' cell phone and Joe Biden, both permanently disconnected.
Joe Biden's brain permanently out of order. I'm Howie Carr.
He's the guru of craft. It's Howie Carr.
Boomer Naturals is providing 20% off their face masks for Mother's Day. Boomer Naturals face masks are comfortable, made of 3 layers of cotton and polyester, and have special antibacterial fabrics certified to block 92.2% of particles. The best part is they last 30 days. Simply wash them when you go home at night, and they're good to use again the next day. Adult and child sizes are available. Go to HowieCarrShow.com and click on the Boomer Naturals banner. Use promo code HowieCarr20 at checkout to save 20%.
Taylor, our new Buy American, Support America t-shirts are going like hotcakes.
That's why we're running a new deal at HowieCarrShow.com. Click store. If you buy the new navy blue Buy American, Support America t-shirt, you get a free book.
Did you say free book?
Yeah.
Did Howie approve this?
No, but the mailroom manager did. She said it's a Mother's Day special, our way of thanking all the moms out there. And anyone who orders more than $49 worth of product gets free shipping.
Go to HowieCarrShow.com and click store to get your Buy American, Support America t-shirt and a free book. Joe Biden doesn't have time for malarkey, and he also doesn't have a lot of time for geography. Take a listen.
The people of Nevada are watching, and I'm going to be out there seeing them very soon. Tonight, though, we just heard from the first 2 of 50 states. It's important that Iowa and Nevada have spoken, but look, we need to hear from Nevada and South Carolina and Super Tuesday states and beyond.
And Biden doesn't know the difference between Iran and Iraq. He's gotten it wrong 4 times.
We tried it in Iraq. It's not working. So now we're going to try, in Iran. We tried in Ukraine.
He always gets the name wrong.
I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. This is sort of a scenic, beautiful town. I like Keene a lot.
How many times has he missed it? He's in Iowa. It's great to be in the great state of Ohio. And they say, Joe, you're in Iowa.
How many unsafe bridges you still have here in the state of Iowa? And I was just in Ohio because they have more.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300. I've seen a lot of Anchor cupcakes in my day. Here are some of the latest network nitwits.
And he says, if I'm elected president, I will push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress. Correct me, there already are term limits, so what does he mean?
And what are we hearing in the background? Is that shelling?
No, Katie, Katie, you're actually hearing that from here in Jerusalem.
Yes.
When you don't forget to give me cut 13. That's the only one. That's the one I really want after of the ones about Tara Reid.
We got it.
Okay. Thanks. And then
Actually, I don't think she deserves
Yep.
advisor to the president. So the idea that he would demean her specifically in that way, he shouldn't talk about the first lady that way. We aren't all here to make salads for men. It's disgusting.
I mean, I'm presuming he was talking about Karen Pence when he said second lady.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Not Montana. I'm talking about North. No, never mind.
Yeah, no,
Ignore me.
I mean,
Ignore me.
that's
I was
could add
getting,
to
I was getting Montana and North Dakota confused because I don't know. I just was.
This is Jeff in Woodstock, Connecticut.
This is Laura Benner in South Burlington, Vermont.
This is Jimmy Mack in Falmouth, Massachusetts, and this is The Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by the Howie Carr Show Mother's Day Special. Get a free copy of one of my books with every order of our Buy American, Support America t-shirts in navy blue. I'm holding it up now for the cameras. Plus, get free shipping on orders of $49.99 or more. Visit HowieCarrShow.com and click on store to order. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will you wear a mask in public per Charlie Baker's order?
No, why should I? I mean, if he feels guilty about all those people who are dead at the Holyoke Soldiers Home because of his mismanagement, or all the people that are dead up in New Hampshire because of his mismanagement of the Registry of Motor Vehicles, let him wear a mask. Why do the rest of us have to wear masks?
Only 29% say yeah, they'll wear one.
That's good. Live free or die, as they say in New Hampshire, or they used to say that in New Hampshire. Okay, 844-500-4242. I'm just looking at some more. Okay, let's have cut 3 from Joe Biden.
To the best of my knowledge, there's been no complaints made against me in terms of my Senate career, in terms of my office, and anything that's been run.
Oh, that's a good one. Send me that one too, Taylor, for the weekend.
I've got them all. You're going to get them all, Howard. All the good ones. They're on their way.
All right, let's see here. He keeps repeating over and over again that there's nothing there at the University of Delaware in his personal papers. You know, as Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, the louder he spoke of his honor, the faster we counted our spoons. And that's the vibe I'm getting with all these denials about the University of Delaware. Cut 16.
And so the National Archives is the only place there would be anything having to do with personnel records. There are no personnel records in the Biden papers at the university.
Don't throw me in that briar patch, said Brer Rabbit. Just go to the National Archives. That's where it's at. Of course, the National Archives says, what the hell is that old fool talking about? All right. Cut 17.
personnel records aside, are you certain there was nothing about Tara Reid in those records? And if so,
I am absolutely certain.
Why not approve a search of her name in those records?
Approve a search of her name?
Yes, and reveal anything that might be related to Tara Reid in the University of Delaware records.
There is nothing. They wouldn't. They're not there. And if it's, I don't understand the point you're trying to make.
The point I'm trying to make is that
there are no personnel records by definition.
By definition. As my friend Hillary Clinton, who I was just in a virtual town hall meeting, used to say, what difference at this point does it make?
The University of Delaware has no personnel files but it does have a lot of confidential conversations that I had with the president about a particular issue, that I had with the heads of state of other places, that would not be something that would be revealed while I was in public office or while I was seeking public office. It just stands to reason, to the best of my knowledge, no one else has done that either.
Huh? Okay. Joe Biden used to be for believing women before he was against believing women. Let's play a little bit. Let's go into the break with the supercut. Joe Biden, when he was a proud supporter of the Pound Me Too movement.
Sexual assault is not about sex. It's about power. It's about the abuse of power.
How would you suggest that the Senate handle these allegations?
I think they should do an FBI investigation. We did that for Anita Hill. It's a job interview. No one's entitled to be in the Supreme Court.
That's just the beginning. It goes on and on. I'm Howie Carr. DeStefano Hair Restoration wants to thank everyone who entered their contest to win a free hair restoration. Congratulations to Brandon in Maine, who was the lucky winner. DeStefano Hair Restoration wants all of you to be winners and is now offering hair restorations for as little as $6,000. To receive this price, you must schedule by May 8th. That's a $4,000 savings. You may have more time on your hands now, so take advantage of it and get the hair you've been wanting. I know Dr. Highness did such a great job for me, and he will for you too. People always stop me and say, my hair looks so natural. To take advantage of this offer, go to hairman.com/Howie. You'll never see this kind of discount again. That's hairman.com/Howie. DeStefano Hair Restoration has 5 locations in New England and is open for business. For more information on location openings, go to hairman.com/Howie or call 1-800-785-HAIR. That's 1-800-785-HAIR.
It's time for quarantine questions. You're up, Jared. What have you been eating the most during this quarantine?
I've been eating a lot of Indian food because that's all that's in the machine downstairs, and I'm really growing to like it.
What is your drink of choice during the lockdown?
My drink of choice, I'm definitely a Scotch guy. A nice Dewar's really does it for me.
What about a non-alcoholic drink?
Coffee.
What one TV show would you recommend to people who are quarantining right now?
One show? Star Trek: The Next Generation. You can't go wrong. It's got everything you want. It's got high concept science fiction. It's got humanity. It's got great characters. It's the last truly great television show.
What is the biggest pet peeve about being at home?
I can see all the dirt that I don't clean, and it mocks me.
What is the biggest silver lining of staying at home?
I'd say wearing sweatpants, but I do that most of the time anyway. I'll say wearing my Spider-Man costume and not being judged.
What's one book you're loving right now?
I'm a big comic book guy, so I'm reading a lot of comic books. Right now, I'm going back over the classic Stan Lee, Steve Ditko Amazing Spider-Man run, about the first 40 issues.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300. Bernie Sanders is officially in the race for 2020. Let's look back at some of the septuagenarian's greatest hits.
Should we give tax breaks to billionaires, which is what Trump wants, or demand that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes? Blah, 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 blah.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death.
We understand your wife has hired a lawyer to represent her in a possible probe into a land deal that fell apart. This was back when she was president of Burlington College.
No, it was not when she was. Let me say a word on that. You know.
Yeah. Well, I just want to ask you: do you know she's under FBI investigation?
Excuse me. My wife is about the most honest person I know.
At the end of the day, you don't necessarily need a choice of 23 Under spray deodorants or 18 different pairs of sneakers.
People should not be dying in the United States of America when they are sick.
We will raise taxes.
Mike Bloomberg is spending millions of dollars on all of his campaign ads, but we put together some of our favorite Bloomberg clips, and guess what, Mike? This one's totally free.
I think we disproportionately stop whites too much and minorities too little. To be a farmer, it's a process. You dig a hole, you put a seed in, you put dirt on top, add water, up comes the corn. Then we had 300, you could learn that. Donald Trump is the world's biggest schoolyard bully. Big gay ice cream is the best. The Communist Party wants to stay in power in China, and they listen to the public. When the public says, I can't breathe the air, Xi Jinping is not a dictator. He has to satisfy his constituents, or he's not going to survive.
He's not a dictator?
No, he has a constituency to answer to. I'm ready to get to work, so let's get it on. I would be 79 years old when I took office. To start a 4-year job, maybe an 8-year job at age 79 may not be the smartest thing to do.
Why did you say what you said in that 2015 speech?
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. Before we go to Police Blotter Facts Friday, Taylor, can I have one more Joe Biden cut number 9?
Look at the facts. Check it out. Find out whether any of what she says is asserted or true.
Can we quote you on that, Mr. Vice President?
We're going to look at the facts. The police blotter facts.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action.
If you're looking for some good binge watching, by the way, I think almost all of Highway Patrol episodes are on YouTube, and they are spectacularly good.
Oh, I'm going to get home right away.
A friend of mine got into it. I mentioned it last week, and I've started dipping into them too. And you just, it's like potato chips. You can't eat just one. You got to watch 5 or 6 of them. 10-4. Okay, you know how Police Blotter Facts Friday works. You can send in your funny stories or items from your local daily or weekly newspaper, from the police column, the police log, police blotter, whatever they call it. It can be a standalone story, but send it to grace@howiecarrshow.com, grace@howiecarrshow.com, or you can still fax them to us at 857-284-8864, 857-284-8864. And at this time, each Friday evening, we read the funniest ones of the week, and the 2 best entries of the week get a nice prize. What do they get this week, Grace?
They will be getting a copy of Plug Uglies.
Plug Uglies. A coffee table book, a scrapbook of Boston organized crime. Hundreds of mugshots. It's a great book.
This week, Howie was very heavy on the mugshots, so that's why I thought, you know what? A mugshot for a mugshot seems fair. Okay, guys, so I will be reading the runners-up. We have a lot to get through. Let me start with a story of mail stealing. Speedy Gonzalez accused of stealing checks from Metro Atlanta mailboxes.
Speedy Gonzalez?
Speedy Gonzalez.
That can't be his real name.
Yes, it is his legal name, according to multiple sources. I double checked this because it seems like something that would be on Snopes, and it's actually true. Out of Georgia, the man's name is Speedy Gonzalez. In late January, a man reported that he had some checks stolen from his mailbox. The checks were supposed to be picked up by the USPS and mailed to their intended recipients. The 35-year-old suspect visited the Home Depot and made a purchase of over $3,000 and then returned the items for cash. So later, they caught him in the act of stealing these checks. And now Speedy Gonzalez is stealing no more.
Speedy Gonzalez, why don't you come home? Speedy Gonzalez, how come you leave me all alone?
Who made the pinch? Jose Jimenez?
Florida man in cases, by the way, Howie, there are a lot of Florida man stories this week, as always, but particularly a lot of Florida this week. Florida man encases arms in concrete in protest of prison conditions during pandemic.
Oh, they have some for-profit, quote unquote, prisons in Florida. So they periodically, the Bernie Bros get together and they have demonstrations because somehow prisons that are run by the state are more humane than prisons that are run for profit. I don't get it. There's actually been a demonstration. We ran into a demonstration down here in Boca Raton where the headquarters of one of the companies, Grace.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, it was the same thing. They were just, chaining themselves to barrels or something.
It brings you back, doesn't it, to the old days when people were doing that on 93?
Yeah, it does. It's a great
Makes
memory.
Me reminisce. But Howie, the funny thing is, you know how they always say there's someone for everyone? There's some demonstration for everyone. Like you wouldn't think this would be their cross to bear, to stick their arms in barrels of concrete for the prisoners that they feel are being unjustly treated. But that is what this man, Jordan Mazurek, did, and he was arrested. They asked him repeatedly as his arms were being stuck in the barrels. They said, please don't do this.
Zip Conley's in one of those prisons, the crooked FBI agent who's doing 40 years for an organized crime hit in Miami-Dade.
Maybe those concrete barrels, that was an ode to Zip. He was saying, Zip, these ones are for you.
Let Zip go, please. Eddie McKenzie is not going anywhere,
Zip.
by the way. I wrote the column about him yesterday. His release was denied. I'll read you some of the decision. Good job, Judge Saylor, for not letting him out.
Florida man thought he was stealing opioids, but instead got laxatives. The old bait and switch. Peter Emery was caught on video taking pills from a lockbox. So at first I read this, I was confused because, why would he be going to this lockbox unless he knew there was going to be the pills he wanted? But I guess his roommate set up a camera because he suspected that Peter was stealing his pills, and he switched them with Equate Gentle laxatives. Emery's roommate switched the pills after suspecting Emery was stealing his pain medication. Roommate James Ream also set up a camera to record the incident. They caught him. All these people, Howie, they're getting caught.
How ironic, Grace, because one of the side effects of opioids is constipation. So the roommate was actually doing him a bit of a favor.
Oh, see, that's when one door closes, another one opens. Man arrested after mistakenly depositing 2 bags of cocaine at a bank.
What?
Do you notice the uptick in drugs this week?
Well, this is what's been predicted. People get depressed. They know they're no longer working. The Democrats are trying to crush them with this lockdown, and this is the result.
Yeah, this is the result of having drugs, but also like dying to go out. So you go for a ride and you end up accidentally depositing them into a bank. David Pangalo was at a drive-through bank in Colorado when he attempted to deposit cash through a tube. The teller immediately called authorities about the suspected drugs that were deposited. It included 2 bags of cocaine. He said that part of it was an accident. He didn't mean to drop the bags in.
I guess it was.
Michigan man shot after proposed sex meetup turned out to be a robbery. Daniel Alexander Wargo and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Summer Louise Desjardins.
Wow, what a name.
I know. were arraigned Wednesday on charges including armed robbery after a 22-year-old man was found shot in the torso. So this is what happened. The woman, Summer Louise, had earlier met the victim on
Is that her
Facebook.
real name, or is that her working
stage
girl
name?
working girl nom de plume?
I don't know if this was her birth name.
How dare you?
They arranged for her. Oh, he arranged for her to come to his home for sex. She showed up at his house, but then a guy came in behind her who was there to rob the place. They were like the gruesome twosome, they had their shtick. And when the guy wouldn't cooperate, I'm guessing he kind of fought back. He got shot in the torso. Luckily, the guy is okay, and these two got caught. Florida man. Oh gosh, you guys really need to get it together down there, Howie. I fear for all of you. I can hear McKay laughing. McKay, I'm worried for you guys. There's too much going on.
I can't get into trouble anymore. The curfew kicks in at 9:00 every night. I got to be home early.
McKay sends me police blotter stories that don't even get on the national radar because so many of them come out at once. Florida man blames John Wick for guns found in his car. Howie, do you know who John Wick is?
He's some fictional character.
Portrayed by Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
A Florida man told police that guns in his car belonged to John Wick. Getro Gielan was being investigated for domestic...
Getro Gielan?
Getro Gielan.
Is he in relation to Summer Desjardins?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Possibly. I mean, they're all in the same area. Was being investigated for domestic violence Sunday after a woman told police that Gielan had threatened her with a gun. Police later searched Gielan's Porsche. Pretty nice. And found a handgun, a semi-automatic rifle, and a bulletproof vest. He told the cops that he'd recently sold the car to his cousin, John Wick. After
cousin?
After officers called this
a fictional
obvious
character
bluff,
was his cousin. You can't arrest me because I'm a fictional character too.
Gielan admitted to the fact that he did not have.
Or should I say
John
a
Wick.
fictitious? What? Let's have Joe Biden. What he would say about John Wick. What kind of person is he, Joe? 23.
Very little of us getting into that person that fictitious person you describe.
Fictitious. Those fictitious people are always storing guns in Porsches. Welcome Matt at suspected drug house said, "Come back with a warrant." So Florida deputies did.
Really? They had a welcome mat that said that?
Yeah, this has been happening a lot lately. People put stuff trying to be ironic, like they'll get caught in a mugshot that says, you got to pull me over. I'm drinking and driving, and then they get pulled over for drinking and driving. It's weird. It's this weird thing that keeps happening. But so these people had come back with a warrant on their welcome mat, and this happened in Palm Coast, Florida. Obviously, the Daytona Beach News Journal reports,
I resent that, you saying that.
I'm
obviously.
sorry. After seeing the doormat, authorities say the Flagler County Sheriff's Office got the warrant. Deputies found fentanyl and drug paraphernalia inside during a search late last week. We still have some follow-up work to do, but for now, the deadly drugs and syringes seized are off the streets.
It's like the Grateful Dead song, "If you got a warrant, I guess you're going to come in."
Michigan police catch speeder doing 180 miles per hour during coronavirus lockdown. This story's been happening a lot as well. The roads are very empty, so people are driving really fast. Not me, but I've heard of other people going fast. And this guy, when he got pulled over, he said, "My fault." He was very honest. He said, "My fault. I was speeding with another vehicle. I'm sorry." So you weren't just speeding, you were racing.
You know, Grace, you say
I
there's
always
a lot.
tell them I got here as fast as I could, officer.
Yeah, and then the cop says, "Where's the fire?" And you say, "In your eyes, officer."
Oh boy. Florida man arrested after asking deputies for booze and ice cream. I really like this story. This
Ted
happened
Kennedy?
in Charlotte County, Florida. A Punta Gorda man called 911 multiple times and asked deputies to deliver him ice cream and liquor. Michael James Gables, 65, called 911 to report an emergency. So the police showed up. He asked them to take a $20 bill that was on the couch and return to his place with some liquor. They explained to him that needing a liquor delivery was not an emergency, and if he called again, he would be charged with misuse of 911. The next day, Gables called 911 again, this time asked the deputies to take his ice cream out of the freezer since he wasn't able to get out of his recliner. Wowzers. He sounds
This really
like
is a
real
Ted
gem.
Kennedy type story. You know, he used to like to get Haagen-Dazs ice cream, Grace.
And he pour peach schnapps over it.
Right. I've told you the story. Peach
it
schnapps.
sounds disgusting. I'd rather chocolate ice cream. By the way, guys, Hate Mail Monday, Police Blotter Facts Friday is brought to you by Pantajosi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. They have the best bread, and they let me do this amazing segment every week. So make sure you check out Pantajosi bread at your local markets.
We'll be right back with the winners. Mother's Day this year is going to look and feel a lot different than what we've all been used to. But with my friends at 1-800-Flowers.com, no matter what the distance is between you and mom, there's still a way to make your mother feel loved when it matters most. This Mother's Day, when you can't be there, send her a beautiful bouquet to show how much she means to you. Right now, when you order early at 1-800-Flowers, you can get 30 assorted tulips for 20% off the original price. You know, it's something you really want to reach out to your mother. This is a tough time, especially if you can't be there and you've always been there in the past. It's not just for your mother, but if you have a beloved aunt like I had my Aunt Mabel, or you have a daughter who's got kids, grandkids, baby
Everyone
grandkids.
Everyone could use knowing that someone's thinking of them and a little bit of love. And that's what it is. When you send flowers to someone, it makes their whole day, makes their whole week. When someone sends me flowers, it's the best feeling in the world. And so for you to do that for your mom or your aunt, like Howie said, it's a quick and easy way. It takes 2 seconds to order them and you'll never regret it.
Or your grandmother, if she's still around. 1-800-Flowers. With a bright mix of orange, yellow, and pink blooms, these assorted tulips are guaranteed to show all of moms in your life just how much they're loved. 1-800-Flowers is committed to the safety of their team members and your family, so all deliveries are contactless. Picking an early delivery date ensures that your bouquet will arrive in time to make Mom's Day special. 30 assorted tulips for $39.99 is an amazing offer, but availability is limited, so hurry and order before today is over. This is the end of it today. With limited delivery windows, you need to lock in your order early. Don't put this off. Order right now, today, from the official florist of Mother's Day, 1-800-Flowers.com. To order 30 assorted tulips for $39.99, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Howie. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Howie. Hurry, this offer ends today. I'm Howie Carr.
You can call him Fat Boy, just don't call him late for dinner. It's Howie Carr.
President Trump's life has changed a lot in the last couple of years, but one thing that remains consistent, his love for a good nickname.
What happened to Mini Mike? Where's he? Mini Mike, I've had him up to here. Sleepy Joe has no idea what he's even talking. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Sleepy Joe, get off the stage, please. I don't think the guy's got a chance. Sleepy Joe, I don't think he's got it. I don't know. I think Sleepy Joe may be able to limp across the finish line. Crying Chuck. I don't want to say Crazy Nancy because if I say that, you're going to say it's a copy of Crazy Bernie, and that's no good. Who that judge? Alfred E. Newman. You know, I thought Pocahontas was gone, left in embers. I should have saved the Pocahontas thing for another year. Did you ever hear Pocahontas? It's Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. Little pencil neck Adam Schiff. Got the smallest, thinnest neck I've ever seen. But Nancy Pelosi, I call her Nervous Nancy. Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton said to Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary, do you think he calls her Crooked Hillary, Mike?
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
Jim Acosta, without a doubt, wins the competition for Trump's least favorite journalist of all time. Let's listen to some of their feistier moments.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Should I let him have a little bit more? What do you think, Peter? Peter, should I let him have a little bit more? Sit down. I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine?
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you?
When I raise money, excuse me, I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, what do you say to your critics who say that you're concocting a national emergency here in order to get your wall because you couldn't get it through other ways?
What do you think? You think I'm creating something? Ask these incredible women who lost their daughters and their sons, because your question is a very political question, because you have an agenda. You're CNN. You're fake news.
This is Chris in Rochester, Mass.
This is Mark in Nashville, New Hampshire.
This is Lorna in Truckstown, Pennsylvania. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Runaway child, running wild, better get back home where you belong. Because a Florida man will catch you otherwise. Okay, Grace, what do you got?
Well, first I wanted to let everybody know that they can get the Howie Carr Show's latest shirt. It's Buy American, Support America. We have it in navy blue. They're absolutely gorgeous. You have to get it. And if you get one today, Howie, you will get a free book. You'll get the t-shirt and a book for only $19.99. And there's all different packages. They're all awesome. Make sure you go to howiecarrshow.com, click on the store, and get your deal today. Now, I don't have a lot of time for the winners here, so I'm going to do them quickly. First one, Nashville rapper charged after her parents say she punched her mother in the face.
Try not to let this destroy your faith in the hip-hop community.
24-year-old LaTanya McDonald was charged with domestic assault after she
LaTanya,
wrestled.
but what is her rap name?
It actually doesn't say, which makes me think it might be LaTanya. She
That's
likes to
very
keep it
mundane
authentic.
for a rap name, isn't it?
She wrestled with and punched her mother in the face because she wasn't allowed in her parents' home. She knocked on the door. Her mother answered. She woke her mother up from her sleep. Her mother answered and said she could not come in the house. That's when she responded by punching her mom in the face.
Was she a rapper or was she an aspiring rapper?
They didn't say aspiring, so I don't know if maybe she has some hit singles out there that we could give a listen to, but it does not say aspiring. She's a full-fledged rapper. Okay, and my last winner. Topless, angry woman smashes plates at Denny's until police arrive.
So this
You
must
didn't think I was
Denny's.
gonna have
This
a
must
naked
have been
woman.
Denny's. This must have been in one of the free states. Where was this?
Oh no, Howie, wrong again. In a move typically reserved for Waffle House, police were called to the scene of a local Denny's restaurant after
But
getting
where?
word.
Where?
I will tell you. Just give me 1 minute. This happened. It doesn't say. It just says local. But I know it's not one of the free states because Howie, they were trying to do takeout and she ran into the back of the kitchen. And so they were not letting people in the restaurant, but this woman ran in from the bus station and started removing her clothes while arguing with fellow travelers. Evidently,
Fellow travelers? There were some Bernie bros there? Did they
evidently
address each other as comrade?
the striptease proceeded to the local eatery, and Denny's employees were shocked, mostly because the restaurant wasn't even open to the general public. Oh, and Howie, it happened in Hawthorne, California. So it definitely wasn't open. It just provided delivery and to-go orders. So we should also take note, this adventure took place at about 11:30 in the morning in California. And so now the woman has been detained. They thought she was under the influence of something, not just pancakes.
Where is it? Where are those California drones when you need one?
This is actual audio.
Really?
Stop it! Hey, stop it!
Wow.
And
That's
she
a
said,
grand
you're
slam.
never going to, Governor Newsom's never going to allow you to reopen anyway. You don't need any of this this China.
breaking all the plates.
We'll be right back. I'm Howie Carr. Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, not what your roommates or family are listening to. Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycons start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
He is the youngest senator that is going to be running. In his video, he also mentioned he's the only senator that lives in the inner city, and he's an unmarried vegan. So a lot of very unique qualities Cory Booker brings to the table, Kate.
Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Have you ever had an LGBTQ law clerk?
I've not been a judge, so I don't have any law clerks.
Someone working for you.
I'm to be honest, I don't know the sexual orientation of my staff.
When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about this experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt, tears of rage.
Would you just stop being so dramatic?
I'm a big believer that if this country hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough.
The Democrat Party is so full of loonies, social justice warriors, progressives, whatever you want to call them, that sometimes certain moonbats get overlooked. So let's take this moment to shine the woke spotlight on Crazy Mazie Hirono.
I am not going to be a fool to Mitch McConnell's shenanigans. Why should any of us?
And it's not just a dog whistle, it's a bullhorn.
Bullhorns. It's racism. It's basically, for many people, it's anti-Semitic. It's white supremacy.
Why not take a stand and vote yes for it? Seems like you're trying to have it both ways, not be hung by it politically, but also not say that you don't support it.
I disagree with you, Katie, that why should we engage in the kind of sham shenanigans that Mitch McConnell is really good at?
I'm confused.
This was just a sham.
Guess who's perpetuating all of these kinds of actions? It's the men in this country. And I just want to say to the men in this country, just shut up and step up.
I think the noose is closing, and, Giuliani is like a loose cannon, and so is the president, frankly.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300. And now, another minute of Madam Speaker, Nancy Pelosi.
But again,
you have these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
It's like 5 people. They would say, play games, and then they'd say, open sesame, except we don't say sesame, we say open
Biden. But no, because we are not. We have the number is growing. We have 91 women. There are 115 women in Congress, 106.
Yep.
Will you have Grace call Kevin just to see what's going on up there?
Do you want him on, or you just want her checking with him?
Just check in. If there's nothing happening, we don't have to have him. But if they've made the arrest,
sure. I think we would have heard about it by now, but I'll have her call.
Okay, but just
Found Lincoln. Not to be presumptuous to put ourselves in those categories, but the times have found us.
He's New England's talk radio king. He's Howie Carr.
The only French term I like is sans culotte, without trousers. I used to describe Ted Kennedy as sans culotte because after the Obar incident, when he was wandering around down on the beach, with his 20th Scotch tumbler of the day in his hand, stumbling around with he was just there, as the Michelle Cassone, Patch's date said, he was just there without trousers, or as we say in Paris, sans culotte.
We've seen nothing that we can work, that I can work with President Bush on, and I'm disappointed because I thought that there might be some interest because of what he said in the campaign.
President Bush, this is your brain. This is your brain on Botox. Okay? That's the lesson of that one.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
And now, an interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
Is Kennedy Babylon 2 your last book?
No, if I think of another topic or a book I want to write, I'll go for it. But I think it's the last of my Kennedy Babylon series. I made Kennedy Babylon 2 kind of long because I wanted to get everything in there. Now there's other stuff I could write about, but I'm Kennedy now.
Since having the sleeve operation, do you miss not eating big meals?
No, I don't. I can still eat what I used to eat. I just can't eat as much. I'm now very surprised how much I used to eat. I'm surprised at how much people I eat with consume. It's just hard to believe that I used to eat that much. But no, it's not a problem.
How is Mr. Gooner since Pearl's passing?
Mr. Gooner is drowning his sorrows in food.
What is the most trouble you ever got into as a kid?
Taylor. My father was giving me grief one time up at Moosehead Lake in Maine. And I threw a rock at him.
Yeah.
Do you have the sound cut of Trump saying that Biden should continue to fight these allegations?
I'm sure we had it yesterday. I'll look.
I thought it was a new thing that he may have said it today, because the New York Post is portrayed. It looks like it's the lead story in the New York Post.
Chopper talk.
Yeah, I don't know if it's chopper talk, but whatever it is, yeah. If there's something new. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300. And now, some of my favorite fake Indian cuts of all time.
I'm not going to ask you for your favorite curse word. Actually, I am. Do you have a favorite curse word?
Poop.
Poop? Oh, that's a goody two-shoes favorite curse word if I ever heard one.
Are you kidding? Have you ever seen a woman like me look you straight in the face after you finished some long explanation of something and then just said, poop?
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
I am not sure what she's talking about as far as a rally with.
It was a rally in Bern, Oregon, is that you have to figure out who you are. I grew up in a family.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
Would you please go on the record with the American people? Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true. I'm saying unequivocally, it never happened. And it didn't. It never happened.
Do you remember her? Do you remember any types of complaints that she might have made?
He forgets his kids' names half the time.
I don't remember any type of complaint she may have made. It was 27 years ago.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
Women have a right to be heard, and the press should rigorously investigate claims they make. I'll always uphold that principle. But in the end, in every case, the truth is what matters. And in this case, the truth is the claims are false.
Case closed. Good work, everyone.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
The facts in this case do not exist. They never happened. And there's so many inconsistencies in what has been said in this case.
San Luis Obispo, California. Hello.
I'm wondering what a staffer would do besides go to the press in Washington. My daughter has just left there after working for a prominent senator, and the only thing she could have done was go to the press, and she chose not to do it out of respect for him.
Or she had a story to tell, but out of respect for the person she worked for, she didn't tell it.
That's true.
Unchained and unstoppable.
As we
Look, this is a very I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Please. No, that's all.
I've got two more
Nor has
questions. The first.
Okay, please.
Go ahead. The first is about
that's
your
it.
university.
Over 600,000 dead. That fictitious person you described. All the PPP. The president has no intercourse whatsoever with the rest of the country, the world.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. We're keeping an eye on the situation at the Sunday River Brewing Company up in Bethel, Maine, to see if the cops are going to come in and arrest the owner, Rick Savage, before he can give out Janet Mills, the governor's new cell phone number again on TV or radio. But he said it'd let us know once he gets the number. 844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number.
Message GH22. The number you have called is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and dial again. Message GH22.
Don't you hate it when you have a good cell phone number, like the last four digits of her number were 8555? That's a good number. And then some guy throws it up on national TV and it's gone.
207. Unavailable at this time. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right. 844-500-4242. Let's just get to wrap up these last Biden cuts. There's a couple more here. Cut 20.
Someone who is in charge of making sure that all the material needed, all the PPP.
He makes the same mistakes over and over again. He gets confused with numbers and PPPs and TPPs, which turns into TTPs. All right. 844-500-4242. And we keeps coming back to Delaware. He just, he loves talking about Delaware and taking the Amtrak train and coming into the little steel town in Delaware and moving there from Scranton, PA. Now he's very, very angry when Delaware comes up because he doesn't want to talk about the University of Delaware and what might be in there. His aides have been in the archives. I would assume they've destroyed whatever complaint that she filed, just like, Clinton had Sandy Burglar. Remember him, Sandy Berger? He's not coming down for breakfast anymore. The national security advisor. He went into the National Archives and stole all the documents, the damning documents showing that Clinton had numerous chances to take out bin Laden, but never bothered. Couldn't just didn't care. And of course that led to 9/11. But he was a Democrat, so he didn't care. And Sandy Burglar, a lawyer, stole all the documents, destroyed historical documents. He was never prosecuted or never seriously prosecuted, never went to prison because he's a Democrat too. But anyway, here's Biden getting frustrated about about Mika continuing to ask him about the Delaware records. Cut 7.
Why not push for the release of any documents with Tara Reade's name on them, whether it's at the University of Delaware or the National Archives?
First of all, let's get this straight. There are no personnel documents. You can't do that. You wouldn't, for example, if you worked with me or I worked for you and you had my income tax returns, you had my whatever. They're private documents. They're not for they don't get put out in the public. So they're not part of the public record that in fact is that any senator or vice president or president has in their documents. Look, there was one place that she could file the complaint. And that office at the time was all those records from that office are in the archives and they're controlled by the Senate. That's where personnel documents would be if they exist. That's where the complaint would be if it exists.
To which the National Archives responded, what the hell is he talking about? And what is he talking about with the income tax returns? When is the University of Delaware going to release those documents, Mr. Vice President? Cut 5.
Well, they weren't supposed to be revealed. I gave them the university. The university said it's going to take them time to go through all the boxes. They said it wouldn't be, and that wouldn't be before 2020 that occurred, or 2021. I can't remember the year they said.
He resents being questioned about this because, you know, his entire career is an open book, right? Cut 10.
I fought my entire life to change the whole notion of the law and the cultural around sexual assault.
Cultural sexual, you know the thing. Okay. Before we go on to our next topic here, and we're gonna ask you, we want to know how you have defied the lockdown. We want to know that. 844-500
Trump cut
4242. But first, we have a Trump cut. Trump responded today. I guess he at his press availability. Maybe he was.
No, he was on with Dan Bongino.
Oh, he was on. Okay, he was on with Dan Bongino. So he was. Dan Bongino asked him about what was going on with Joe Biden. So this is his response.
But I would just say to Joe Biden, just go out and fight it. It's one of those things. But I'd say he's far more convincing than Blasey Ford or the other three that I believe have already recanted and said it wasn't true.
Oh, I think he's talking about the ones that accused Kavanaugh. Okay, so let's play the supercut of Joe Biden on sexual assault. As I said earlier, Joe Biden was for believing all women before he was against believing all women. Cut 28.
Sexual assault is not about sex. It's about power. It's about the abuse of power.
How would you suggest that the Senate handle these allegations?
I think they should do an FBI investigation. We did that for Anita Hill.
It's a job interview. No one's entitled to be in the Supreme Court. No one's entitled to be in the United States Senate. No one's entitled to hold any public office. So why do you think women who get raped, so many don't report it? They don't want to get raped again by the system.
What should happen is the woman should be given the benefit of the doubt and not be abused again by the system.
No man has a right to touch you, period, under any circumstance.
It's all about the abuse of power, number one. Number two, women should be believed.
The presumption should be if the woman comes forward, she's likely telling the truth. There's a presumption that the man is telling the truth.
I believed her when she came forward. We want to make it real clear. It's on us. It's on everyone to intervene, to stop abuse when they see it. Silence is complicity. Silence is consent. It takes enormous courage for a woman to come forward. No man has a right to lay a hand on a woman, no matter what she's wearing, what she does.
Unless you can affirmatively give consent, it's rape. Anybody engaged in that behavior is committing a crime.
So much has changed about how the public understands the pressure on women. And I've learned a lot as well, too.
That was then, this is now. And he's employing, or he's going to, depending on how she does, with Chris Wallace on Fox News Channel on Sunday morning. what was it that George Stephanopoulos used to use when he was in the bimbo eruptions unit? The nuts and sluts defense, or as Jim Carville, another Democrat operative and member of the Clinton bimbo eruptions unit, used to say, "It's amazing what happens when you drag $100 bill through a trailer park." So, Joe Biden, he's singing a little different tune now, isn't he? 844-500-4242. You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You can take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I do a 4-hour radio show every day, and I try not to lag in my enthusiasm and my energy, and that's why I take Super Beets right before I go on the air, right when I wake up in the morning. It's a great way to get started and to keep up your energy. Gives you a boost, sharpens your mind, makes you feel better. It improves your circulation. It's good for your blood pressure. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow. Better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. And the science team behind Super Beets has conducted 11 clinical trials and was even given the Science Award by the Nutrition Business Journal. This level of research is unheard of in the nutrition category. These are just some of the reasons why I love Super Beets and why they've worked so well for me and for Grace and for Taylor. To try Super Beets risk-free for 90 days, visit www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie and get a free 30-day supply, free shipping, and free nitric oxide strips to test your nitric oxide levels with your first purchase. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't touch that dial. Howie Carr will be back after this.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaffes anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind.
Hey, Howie?
Yeah.
Kevin says nothing really going on over at the Brew Pub.
Okay. Is he going to stick around for a while, or is he leaving?
He'll be there for a little while.
Okay. Just tell him to hang in there, and, I'll tell people that nothing's happening.
Sure.
Tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon.
We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably...
Hold on, Howie. Something's going down.
Uh-oh.
The sun came out.
That's all that came out? That's all that happened?
The sun broke quarantine.
Come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally meant rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
And now, 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
It is a bill that is much needed for our farmers and ranchers. I think there are only 47 votes against it in the House of Representatives. The American people should know the source of it.
Taylor.
Again.
Yeah.
Some people want to say we should tweet out that audio montage, that supercuts of Biden. Can you find that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're going to get Kevin on anyway.
Okay.
There's nobody calling in yet with their stories.
Okay.
So we'll have Kevin on, but keep pumping that.
Okay, I will.
We haven't had an answer. There are other things that are going on that are newsworthy, and I think you'd have more viewers or readers if people address concerns that people have. The list goes on about the
This is Karen from Billerica, Massachusetts.
This is Adrian in Swanton, Vermont.
This is Miss Susan up in Warner, New Hampshire. And this is the Howie Carr Show.
Today's poll question is brought to you by the Howie Carr Show Mother's Day Special. Get a free copy of one of my books with every order of our Buy American, Support America t-shirts in navy blue. Plus, get free shipping on orders of $49.99 or more. Visit HowieCarrShow.com and click on store to order. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Will you wear a mask in public per Charlie Baker's order?
No, I will not.
72% will not.
Yeah. They're gonna find they want to let all these prisoners out of jail. Some of them violent prisoners. They let out a woman that embezzled over $1 million from the Cape, and she was just arrested last December. They let her out, but they're gonna find people, find U.S. citizens who have zero chance of getting vanishingly close to zero chance of getting sick, let alone dead from this. Anyway, what we're going to do for the last half hour or so is ask you, and we have the voice changer available, by the way, if you would like to tell us how you are violating Big Brother's new orders, the new way of life in America. Show us your papers, please. Put on your mask. Get off at the beach. Get off the golf course. I am your Führer, Charlie Parker, and this is the Fourth Reich. So give us a call, 844-500-4242. Right now, though, joining us is Kevin. He's our on-the-street reporter at the Sunday River Brewing Company in Bethel, Maine. Kevin, what's going on? Have the police stepped in yet?
They have not, Howie. They have not. Sieg Heil, by the way. Sieg Heil. They have not.
Jawohl!
Yes, Commandant. But the line's still at least 50 to 75 long. The sun's come out. They opened up the outside deck. There's at least, let's say, 45 to 50 sitting out there enjoying a meal. A guitar player showed up out of the blue, not hired, just showed up to entertain the crowd. It's awesome. It's nothing untoward, nothing's gone wrong. It's awesome.
This is great.
The cops, it is. And actually, I'm standing right next to Rick's wife, Melissa. The health inspector and the liquor inspector showed up right after he got off the radio with you. You want to get her to fill you in?
Yeah. Put her on. This is Melissa Savage.
Yeah, hold on. Melissa Savage. Yep, right here. Hold on.
Hello.
Hi, Melissa. This is Howie Carr. How you doing?
Hi. Hanging in there. Doing our best out here.
So the health inspector and the liquor inspector came by?
They did.
So what were they trying to prove?
They just basically told Rick that he went against the executive order, so he is automatically revoking his health inspection, which automatically revokes your liquor license at that point. And then they said they're going to come back every day that he operates and pile up this paper, the same paperwork again, some more fines, more fines basically. And after the third time they come, it goes directly in front of the court. And they're saying now that if the state wins this in court, then they'll take his liquor license away for 5 years.
For 5 years? That's kind of tough for a brewing company to lose its liquor license, huh?
Yeah, I would say so.
So what are you going to do, Melissa? What are you and Rick going to do?
Rick actually just got off the phone. I'm going to pass him over. He's more informed than me, but here he is. Okay, here he is.
Okay, thanks. Rick.
Hello.
Rick.
Papers, please.
Yeah.
This is Howie. How you doing? What happened?
I'm doing fine. Well, the state, Janet called in the health department, liquor enforcement, and the liquor commissioner and a couple other people to see how to deal with us. So she sent them up here to pull all my licenses. And so now they wanted me to shut down. I told them I wasn't shutting down. And so now I'm running with no licenses, so that if I sell beer and booze, I'll get three fines a day. If I sell food, no booze, I get a booze fine a day and a food fine. I get 2 fines a day.
And how much is the fine?
So they didn't say. They said you're going to call this number in 14 days. So I'm probably going to sell booze tomorrow and just take the all 3 fines. And we're getting ready to start a GoFundMe page because there's a lot of other businesses in Maine that are going to start opening. So they're going to go around and do the same thing. So we're going to try to get a lawyer team together to represent everybody.
Are any legislators behind you or helping you out?
Yes, there's been some senators and stuff that they're helpless right now. They can't do anything. You know what I mean? They can only email her. They can't call. They can't do anything. She's not even getting with them.
Get this guy with a page.
Wow. We should get you together with LePage.
There's no doubt about it. I've met Mr. LePage a few times. He was here. Brakey was here today. That's running for office.
Yeah. Oh, he's running.
There was a couple other people.
Okay. He's running. What? He's running for Congress or Senate?
Congress.
Yeah. That's good.
He was in here full support. You know, we're getting a lot of support from the lawmakers and stuff, but they feel useless themselves right now. You know.
Right. I know. It's like all these states, the legislature has ceded all of its authority and power to the governors. I mean, this is not what the founding fathers saw. They saw this was that's why the legislature is there to prevent an executive from issuing these kinds of ridiculous, imperious orders. Okay, hey, hang on, Rick, and we'll give you LePage's number if you don't have it, so you can call him, or we'll put you in contact with him. Talk to Grace. Good luck, Rick. We're with you all the way. We'll be right back. How are you defying this life in the Fourth Reich? I'm Howie Carr.
Over the past few weeks, we here at Matthews Brothers have come to realize some interesting things. For example, unless celebrities have a script in front of them, they really don't have much to say. Or, even those stuck in the lap of luxury can somehow manage to feel sorry for themselves. And mostly we'll be happy if we never hear the song Imagine ever again. Ever. In our 166-year history, Matthews Brothers has survived a number of epidemics, including scarlet fever, cholera, typhoid, measles, Spanish flu, Asian flu, diphtheria, polio, measles again, whooping cough, bird flu, swine flu, Ebola, Zika, and now COVID. Through it all and through them all, the men and women of Matthews Brothers stood side by side to keep their wicked awesome windows on their journey to builders, contractors, and homeowners all over New England. This time, of course, we stood 6 feet apart, but still side by side. In a few short weeks, we'll be back to talking about baseball, apple pie, and which politician will be indicted next. But in the meantime, you can learn more about our wicked awesome Maine-made windows and doors, but only at Better Lumberyards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
The Moonbats always say Donald Trump isn't very bright. But what about Barack Hussein Obama? Let's listen to some of his greatest hits.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. I don't know what the term is in Austrian.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly. And there has never been any man or woman more qualified for this office than Hillary Clinton. There are neighborhoods around the country where it is easier for a 12 or 13-year-old to purchase a gun and cheaper than it is for them to get a book. I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper. If we fall for, a bunch of okey doke. A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia, not Al Qaeda. You said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet you're.
Hey, Howie.
much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300.
Brace yourself, guys. Here is 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
I myself have always been for lowering the voting age to 16. I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say. Not amicable. That they wanted their voices to be heard. I don't think our colleague is anti-Semitic. I think she has a different experience in the use of words. That's not the total package, but there are some of the major points of discussion, I would hope, from sea to shining sea, because they are not getting paid 163. Was it 163 Republicans voted no? Wisdom from the kitchen of the Willard Hotel, yes, ma'am. The president either doesn't know what he's talking about or doesn't want to know what he's talking about.
The word that's helping Elizabeth Warren get through her so-so campaign? So.
Will you raise taxes on the middle class to pay for it, yes or no?
So the way I see this, so understand, taxing income is not going to get you where you need to be the way taxing wealth does. So no, and I'm not here to criticize other Democrats. So my proposal is that student loan debt would be canceled up to $50,000.
So, Elizabeth, can you please issue to bed and tell us whether or not you are in fact a member of a minority group?
So, middle class families.
Why did you list yourself as an American Indian on this Texas bar application?
So, I grew up out in Oklahoma. So look.
Why did you check those boxes?
So.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. My question here is, are you violating the edicts here in the new big nanny police state that so many of us are living in? Are you a rebel? Are you a part of the real resistance? And we have the voice changer available in case you're a new listener to the Howie Carr Show since the panic of 2020 began. We have this thing called the voice changer. It's kind of like the witness protection program of the Howie Carr Show. Put it on, Taylor, and show people how it works. So this way, you can't be tracked down like Rick Savage is. You can speak with total immunity from persecution, not prosecution. Persecution is what's going on across the fruited plain, or much of the fruited plain. So where is the voice changer? Has it been quarantined? Is it social distancing from the Howie Carr Show?
We had to replace the batteries.
Oh, I see. There it is. Now, so you see how it works. I'm still speaking, but you cannot recognize my voice because of the amazing properties of the voice changer. Patent pending.
Howie?
Yes.
Or whoever you are, Mr. X, it's hard to understand who you are right now because of the voice changer. I just wanted you to know that Kevin just told me that his son has a drone flying above the Sunday River Brewing. So we'll also have drone footage
Oh,
of the
excellent.
event very soon.
Excellent. So we're going to
Kevin's really becoming a great man on the street person here.
So we're going to put this on the website, or we're going to tweet it out. How are we going to put it out there, Grace?
I haven't received it yet, but once I see it, I will know what to do with it. As Nancy Pelosi would say, I have to see the drone video so I can put it on the website.
All right. Okay. So what have you done, or what are you doing to defy the orders of the Fourth Reich? And I'll tell you a story here. This you don't need to put the voice changer on. You don't need to put the voice changer on for this one, because it's a friend of mine down here. And he's planning to go up to Martin County, where Martin County has rejoined the free world. It's a little bit north of Palm Beach County, and the restaurants are going to be open again. And so he and his wife and a friend of theirs are going up there tomorrow night for the first time to be out, sit down dinner outside at a restaurant in 6-7 weeks. And so his wife wanted to get her hair done, but she lives in Palm Beach County, so the hairdressers are still shut down. But they now have bootleg hairdressers.
Are these neighbors of yours, Howie?
These are a friend of mine and his wife. Yeah.
Do you know what they're ordering tonight?
I don't know, but she said.
Have they looked at the menu?
This is a quote from her. I don't want my hair to look like a dish rag tomorrow when I go to the restaurant for the first time in 6-7 weeks. And so she went into the back door of this speakeasy hairdresser and got her hair colored today. Can you believe that? Can you believe these scofflaws, these reprobates? Just because she's in an age group where the fatality rate is vanishingly small, next to nothing, she thinks she can violate the orders of the local Fuhrer.
I can see this now. What's the password? Red dye number 42. All right, you're okay. Come on in.
Just think, 2 months ago, the word speakeasy was just something. It was a phrase you would read in a history book, or see on the History Channel, a documentary about the Roaring '20s. Now it's a word in common parlance again. Oh, the only thing is they're not selling.
Are not in order.
Only thing is they're not selling just booze at the speakeasy. They're selling hair coloring or pedicures or haircuts. So how are you defying it? And again, if you want the voice changer so no one can track you down, so that the local health inspector, Charlie the baker, has he deputized his son Gropey to help him make sure that the social distancing that Gropey so famously disdained on the flight when he was allegedly groping the young woman sitting next to him, is Gropey been deputized to enforce these new totalitarian orders? Mary,
Your papers, please.
Your papers, please. Mary, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mary.
Hi, Howie. How are you?
Hi.
I love your show. I love you guys.
Thank you.
I just wanted to tell you that I just got some pizza. It's a beautiful night. And I took my kids to a tucked away playground. And I let them go on the swings.
If it was Boston, I hope the hoops had been removed from the basketball court. God forbid that someone should take a 3-point shot, or a layup.
Right?
You
can't have that.
You let the kids eat outdoors, Mary? You're not worried about the cooties?
I took them outdoors, first of all. The kids are the carriers, Howie. The kids are the carriers.
Yes.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah. Stories that drive me crazy. Experts say, the headline, or experts predict. Have the experts predicted anything correctly, Mary, so far?
Not so far. Nope. Not a lick.
Yeah. They, like, as they always say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. The experts have been right not once, let alone. Thanks for the call, Mary, and good luck with the kids. Tom, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Howie, I'm from the Tree City of Somerville. All right. Does Joe Curtafoni know how many trees he's going to kill when we have to make all these masks?
Oh, you're right. God, you know what, Tom? When the Winter Hill Gang was running amok and you had all the crooks at City Hall and the FBI was running sting operations and they were stealing all the government-issued cheese out of the basement of City Hall, Somerville was a lot freer city than it is today.
I know the guy that stole the cheese, but that's not nothing for nothing. You know what I mean?
What do people think of Curtatone?
Pieces.
He was the first to shut down the playgrounds. That was as I've said before. Marty Walsh said, "I'm going to cut the capacity of bars to 50%." And then Charlie Baker said, "I'll one up you. I'll shut the bars down." And then there was nothing left for Curtatone on the bar front, so he shut down the monkey bars at the playgrounds. That's the way it works. Thanks for the call, Tom. Nicholas, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Nicholas.
Hey, Howie, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to say, so I live in the state of Maine where lovely Janet Mills is, kind of doing her thing with all this BS. So I just think it's quite funny that essential workers can cross county lines, but yet I can't cross county lines to play disc golf. I have to play disc golf in the county that I live in.
Yeah, I don't get that. Can't you get a fake ID, Nicholas, and play 18 holes?
I mean, I guess I could just say I am an undocumented person. And
That's right.
What I claim to be.
Just say, and again, think about this. I mentioned this earlier today. They issued the sad statistics today from the Maine Health Department. 380 people died last year of drug overdoses in the state of Maine. Did they ever shut down the state of Maine, Nicholas, because of that?
Absolutely not. You want to know something crazy? My girlfriend actually works at Maine Med. She actually is a phlebotomist at Maine Med. She goes and works. She's a full-time college student too, so she only works 1 day a week. But literally, she has to drive from Auburn, Maine to Portland, which is about an hour drive.
Yeah.
Crossing all those county lines because she's an essential worker. But yet they're telling people they have to wear masks. They can't cross county lines to play disc golf, which is outside. I work in a restaurant industry too. I have 2 jobs, and I can't even work that job because it's closed as well. I've been listening to you on the air all day about the whole Sunday River thing, and I actually plan on crossing county lines to play some disc golf tomorrow, and then also right after that.
Shame on you, Nicholas. Playing golf.
See me at Sunday River. I'll be at Sunday River tomorrow with I got a mega Trump hat tomorrow. I'm gonna be all trumped out. And I'm going to go support some Maine local businesses.
Good for you, Nicholas. I hope you get back to work at your restaurant before Labor Day. Although I'm not too confident personally. Thanks for the call. 844-500-4242. I'm still not sure about the golf carts. I've asked people that question today. So my understanding is you don't have to take separate cars to the golf course as long as you're going to a golf course in the county in which you live. So if you have a foursome, you can put 4 people in one car, and the windows will probably be rolled up. So it's like being a subway. In other words, there could be a lot of transmission of cooties. But once you get outside, some people are telling me that once you get outside and you get out on the golf course, everybody has to have a separate golf cart. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it would make no sense. So you would assume that that's probably what Janet Mills has ordered. That you can come to the golf course in the same car, but you have to ride around the outdoors in separate golf carts. But I don't know that.
I don't think our friend there was too concerned. He was playing disc golf.
Disc golf.
Real golf. Yeah.
Whatever.
Frisbee golf.
It's okay. Whatever kind of golf there is. Jim, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Howie, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm calling 'cause I work at a grocery store overnight, and my boss and we don't wear masks.
Oh, shame on you. Experts say you are a reprobate.
Half the people wear masks and half of us don't. And I'm also a big bike rider, and I ride my bike and walk my dog on a local bike path. There's like hundreds of people out, and half of them have masks and half of them don't have masks.
I'm on the bike path every morning just to get a little exercise and some fresh air, and it's about 3/4 no masks where I am, and you know, for dogs, Jim, 0%. I have yet to see a dog observing social distancing.
They're just a human being.
Governor Baker, will dogs be fined for not wearing masks? No.
Earlier today, I signed an executive order requiring residents to use a face covering in public places when they cannot socially distance from others.
Governor Tal Duvall, what are you going to do when you're defeated in the Republican primary in 2022? What's your plan? You going to retire, or are you going to run for president? As you're going to run to try to get the votes of the Democrat wing of the Republican Party. That's a pretty narrow path to victory. Just ask Jeb Bush. Linda, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Linda.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
First time caller, and hi. How are you?
Good.
Got to turn my radio. Sorry about that. Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi. I'm a Massachusetts resident primarily, but I have a home that's right near your favorite clam shack, Ken's.
Yeah.
And I snuck up to Macy's the other night and didn't quarantine for 14
Shame.
days.
Shame. Better turn on Taylor. Turn on the witness protection program, the voice changer for Linda. She's going to be tracked down by Janet Mills, the septuagenarian governor. Go ahead, Linda.
I think I will, but hey, I'm going to defy it again next week and head up there. I see a lot of taxes to be in Scarborough, so I'm going there.
Yeah, you know, they shut off. They're not turning on the water in the beachfront homes in Salisbury, even though people are paying taxes. Now I heard that in some of the beachfront communities in York County, they're talking about doing the same thing. If they don't turn on the water, you shouldn't have to pay taxes, should you, Linda?
I am 100% in agreement with that, Howie. I fortunately did not shut the water off this winter, so I'm good. I don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's good. Give my best to Dave Wilcox at Ken's place if you see him. Thanks for the call, Linda. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Keep it here. The captain will be back after this.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Boone's Fish House and Oyster Room on the Portland waterfront. For amazing wood-grilled meats and seafood, visit the home of the baked stuffed lobster, Boone's, Portland. Hey campers, camping season is just around the corner and Cold Springs RV is ready to get you prepared. Hi, this is Howie Carr. Now's the time to bring your RV into the brand new state-of-the-art service facility, servicing all makes and brands. From minor repairs to major insurance jobs, Cold Springs RV can do it all. If your RV needs body work, whether it's a collision repair, roof replacement, or a new paint job, they have you covered. Their body shop works with all insurance companies. As a full-service RV dealer, you know they can fix just about anything. If a new or pre-owned camper has been on your wish list, check out the show specials online at coldspringsrv.com. Inventory that was purchased for the RV show that was canceled is now bursting at the seams, so now's the time to score a great deal. Visit coldspringsrv.com for RV specials, as well as information on hours and operations. Safety is Cold Springs RV's top priority, so please visit the website to learn more. Cold Springs RV, Route 114, Ware, New Hampshire. coldspringsrv.com.
And now,
Taylor.
An interview with the Emperor of Hate, Howie Carr.
If you could go back in time and give your younger self
Taylor.
advice, what would you say?
Get a state job, because behind the job comes the pension.
What's the best advice anyone's ever
Tell
given
them to
you?
get the
Most
thing that
advice is
Charlie
pretty
Baker
forgettable.
sang in a
What's
room.
the best
In a
money
room.
you've ever spent?
the investment I made to leave the corporate radio prison I was in. The worst people I ever worked for, no doubt about it. I'd probably be dead if I were still working for them.
If you were on a deserted island and you could only bring 3 things, what would you bring?
A radio, a Wi-Fi system, obviously, and a computer, and I would bring some books. Don't ask me which books, too hard a question.
What was your dad's job when you were growing up?
My dad worked as a resort hotel manager. He worked in Florida at the Breakers in the winter, and then he worked at New House, as it was called then, in Whitefield, New Hampshire, and various other places. Here's how it works with my retirement accounts, and I'll bet yours too. If your 401k, your SEP, your IRA, whatever is going up, you probably don't think very much about it, right? But if it's going down, well, there's nothing much else you can think of. So for the last couple of years, none of us have been worrying much about those quarterly statements. But lately, it's gotten a little worrisome. It's not that bad, not yet anyway, but what goes up must come down. Now is the time to start thinking about adjusting your investments. Gold and silver have always been a hedge against stock market volatility. Uncertainty about the future has traditionally met rising prices for precious metals. Orion Metal Exchange is the only precious metals company I trust. Give Orion a call to get a free, no-obligation investment guide about protecting your future with an enduring investment in gold and silver. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, including peace of mind, by calling Orion Metal Exchange now. Call them today at 800-912-2300. And with Orion, you'll get more metal for your money. Call 800-912-2300. That's 800-912-2300. The Moonbats always say Donald Trump isn't very bright. But what about Barack Hussein Obama? Let's listen to some of his greatest hits.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. I don't know what the term is in Austrian. The Cambridge police acted stupidly. And there has never been any man or woman more qualified for this office than Hillary Clinton. There are neighborhoods around the country where it is easier for a 12 or 13-year-old to purchase a gun and cheaper than it is for them to get a book. I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper. If we fall for, a bunch of okey doke. A few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia, not Al Qaeda. You said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back.
Hi, this is John in the People's Republic of Amherst, Massachusetts.
This is Heather from Litchfield, Maine.
This is Camp, Wichita, Kansas, and this is the Howie Carr Show.
860 says, East Long Meadow, big factory, 1/8 of a mile from a great deli sandwich place. All the guys ride their 4 to a car and get out, put their masks on, and start social distancing. Kind of like the golf course we were talking about. Bruce from the Mets says it's true that you got to take a separate golf. Bruce, how would you know? You don't live in Maine. You're from New Hampshire. Bruce, is Bruce from the Mets using fake ID to play 18 holes? Shame on you. When will this lawlessness end? And by the way, when masks become mandatory in Massachusetts and the the truce with coronavirus expires next Wednesday, 5 days from now, and the coronaviruses begin attacking again, and you have to wear a mask to protect yourself. Where are all these masks going to come from? Governor, do you know where are the masks?
In a room. In a room.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure that there were plenty of masks around. 844-500-4242. I think the governor tomorrow at his press conference should speak in a German accent. Just go full Reich.
Your papers, please.
Yeah. Be like General Hochstetter on Hogan's Heroes.
Your papers are not in order.
Michelle, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hey, Howie, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Yeah, so this is Michelle from the Cape, and there was about 20 of us getting together on an undisclosed beach on the south part of the Cape. Thank you. Between Hyannis and Harwich.
Yeah.
And a lot of pickup trucks, a lot of dogs, a lot of people with no mask. And we get together, well, once or twice or sometimes 3 times a week if the weather's good. So
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It was just a few months ago that it was a real mark that you were a horrible person when you wear a mask because you were Antifa. But now, how can Antifa people know that they're with one another? I mean, they have to not wear a mask now. Things are totally upside down. You can't come in. You used to be forbidden from going into a bank if you were wearing a mask. Now you're not allowed to go into a bank unless you're wearing a mask. Have a nice weekend, everybody. If you're in Maine, get to the Sunday River Brewery in Bethel. I'm Howie Carr.